seated. Thank you, Mr. Baba.
Thank you. The state court case number 3/4067 of 2019. The state versus Julius Malema and Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. Today is the 10th of March. The presiding officer, Mr. Punsami. The public prosecutor, Mr. Baba Julius, Mr. Bamasat. The interpreter is Ms. Mayer for now, Your Worship. For the witness for Mr. Broncos. For the defense, advocate holders instructed by Ian Levitt attorneys. Before I proceed, Your Worship, may I request that the two accused be seated?
You may do so. Mr. Malema and Mr. Ndlozi may be seated. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. The state is ready to proceed with the witness. James Broncos. While we are waiting for the witness, Your Worship, just for record purposes, the exhibit file has been updated as per the exhibits marked.
And then I believe it is the flash disk. Is it also been returned?
That's correct, please.
Thank you.
I have left two copies there, Your Worship, so the court can follow up with the one when the exhibit is given to the witness.
That is correct. Thank you, Mr. Baba.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can you indicate to the court your full names and surname?
U volle naam en van?
James Broncos.
Mr. Broncos, you're still under oath. You have not discussed your evidence with anyone. Is that correct?
Meneer is
Okay. Mr. Broncos, just bear in mind, you must wait for the Afrikaans interpreter to interpret to you as well. Thank you. I believe it is re-examination of the witness, but the court just wants to confirm, Mr. Oudis.
Yes, Your Worship.
Nothing else with regards to cross-examination?
Done, Your Worship.
Thank you then, Mr. Oudis. Mr. Baba, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good morning, Colonel Broncos.
die aanklaer sê môre meneer.
Colonel Broncos,
Morning Mr. Baba.
I'm going to start off with a question that was put to you towards the end of cross-examination. And the question the advocate holders stated was the following. Based on your years and years of experience in events planning, Colonel Fenter acted 100% correct. It was impossible to come to the conclusion as you never undertook whether he was entitled to be there. Do you remember this question?
Onthou meneer die vraag?
Ek onthou die vraag die dag van.
Yes, Your Worship, I do remember the question.
Okay. And your answer to that question was the following. Ek sou dieselfde gedoen het. Daar was twyfel.
I would have done the same. There were doubt.
Dit sal net een oproep gekos het en dit uit te sorteer.
It would have just cost one phone call to sort it out.
Ons was geen geleentheid gegee om die voertuig te verify.
We weren't given any opportunity to verify the motor vehicle.
And then advocate holders interjected and said, you had years to do it. Do you remember that, sir?
Kan meneer onthou?
Ek onthou die dag van.
Yes, I do remember, Your Worship.
And your response was on this incident. Do you remember that? On this date.
Dis korrek die dag van.
That is correct, Your Worship.
Can you please explain what you meant by that?
Kan meneer vertel wat het meneer bedoel te sê?
Die dag van my opinie rondom hierdie spesifieke insident
Your Worship, my opinion around this specific incident
en my siening rondom die optrede
and seeing at what was the steps that were taken,
is nog steeds dieselfde die dag van.
it's still the same, Your Worship.
Ek stem nog steeds saam dat daar was genoegsame twyfel gewees
I still agree there was doubt, Your Worship,
en dit het rede gegee om die voertuig te stop en navraag te doen.
and that gave reason to stop the vehicle and for questioning to be there.
As die Winnie operasionele sentrum die geleentheid gehad het om dit te verifieer, sou dit 'n kwessie van 'n minuut of 2 gewees het.
Your Worship, if the venue operational center had the opportunity to verify that, it would have been a question of a minute or two.
Hierdie geleentheid kon of hierdie insident kon soveel anderste uitgedraai het.
This incident would have turned otherwise, Your Worship, or in another manner.
Positief aan die een kant, negatief aan die ander kant.
Positive on the one side and negative on the one side.
Positief in die sin van die woord dat as die WOC geleentheid gehad het om seker te maak, was ons heel waarskynlik nie hier vandag gewees nie.
You were positive when the VOC had the opportunity to make sure, then we wouldn't have been here today.
Ons het dalk tee gedrink saam met ons vriende.
We might have had drink tea with our friends.
Negatief in die sin van die woord edelagbare is dat ons het dalk op die 7 uur nuus gelees van 2 senior politieke figure wat gearresteer was.
Your Worship, negative in the sense that we read about it in the 7 o'clock news that 2 top politicians were arrested.
Omdat die letter van die wet dan toegepas sou word wanneer 'n misdaad van die teenwoordigheid van iemand gepleeg word, moet die polisie optree.
Your Worship, that would have been the law would have taken its course when a crime is committed in the presence of someone, then the case has to be opened.
So ek moet vir generaal Zulu en ek moet vir
One moment.
May I
Robert,
interject on that?
Mr. Houders, is there any problem?
Your Worship, the interpretation wasn't accurate. I apologize. It was a very long sentence, so I'm not blaming the interpreter.
Yeah.
Perhaps the witness can speak in shorter sentences that can be translated. It does get lost in translation. I'm not attributing any blame to it.
If such a does occur,
Yes,
I would request that no noises be made in terms of the evidence which is given, but direct the court's attention to it so that the court can efficiently deal with such. Thank you.
Nee, praat asseblief
Mr. Baba?
korter sinne nie te lank sin nie.
Is there
En as
anything
meneer
that the
praat
state
en ek
wanted to
wil-
add?
No,
I think.
that's all I want
Thank
to
you.
Dan
Mr.
doe ek hier weer
Ronkas, give time for the interpretation. Just shorten the sentences. I will request you then to repeat your answer as well.
So as ek reg verstaan, miskien van die kant van die punt af waar gepraat het spesifiek oor
You can continue your evidence with regards to the negative side of.
vir die negatiewe kant, meneer.
wel die negatiewe kant edelagbare is dat as die letter van die wet toegepas was,
Your Worship, on the negative side, if the part of the law had been taken up, Your Worship,
sou ons heel waarskynlik gehoor het van 2 senior politieke offisiere wat gearresteer was.
we should have heard about 2 senior political officials that were arrested.
Maar ek wil graag net sê dat jy weet daar word verwag van die polisie om hoë vlakke van toleransie te wys.
Your Worship, but it is expected of the police to show high tolerance, Your Worship, high levels of tolerance, Your Worship.
Thank you, Mr. Houders.
En generaal Zulu, luitenant-kolonel Venter en die 2 jong polisiedames het dit verseker gewys.
Your Worship, General Zulu, Lieutenant Colonel Fenter, and the 2 young police officers showed it.
Ek moet ook saamstem met die punte wat advokaat Houders opgebring het.
Your Worship, I should also agree with the points that Advocate Houders brought up.
En dis geldige punte,
It is valid points, Your Worship,
maar dit verander nie my opinie rondom hierdie insident nie.
but it doesn't change my opinion on this incident, Your Worship.
Ek stem saam dat daar gebrek was of 'n leemte was in kommunikasie
I do agree that there wasn't enough communication, Your Worship,
en dat luitenant-kolonel Venter moes geweet het wat die eerste kar en die laaste kar was.
and that Lieutenant Colonel Fenter should have known what was the first car and the last car. He should have known.
Dit was ongelukkig nie die geval nie en miskien is dit
But it was unfortunately not that, Your Worship.
die manier hoe die need to know principle toegepas word.
What's the principle, meneer?
Need to know.
Need to know. That is the manner that the need to know principle is applied, Your Worship,
In terme van die hantering van geklassifiseerde inligting.
in terms of handling classified information.
En ek is seker my senior bestuur sal aandag gee aan hierdie probleem.
And I'm sure that my senior manager will pay attention to this problem.
Maar my opinie bly nog steeds dieselfde as gevolg van twyfel en emosie sal ek saamstem dat daar wel sekere besluite geneem is wat nie miskien 100% korrek was.
But my opinion still stays the same, that in terms of doubt, met gesê twyfel en ek het die ander woord gehoor, and emotions, Your Worship, that die laaste sin, aan
Dat daar
100%.
sekere besluite geneem, sekere besluite, operasionele besluite.
Your Worship, certain decisions were taken.
Yeah.
Now, sir, just to get clarification again, you testified yesterday the person who's in control of the gate would have been Lieutenant Colonel Venter. Is that still correct?
Meneer, het zei die persoon, waarna ik van die ek was generaal-kolonel Venter. Luitenant. Luitenant-kolonel Venter.
Dis korrek, Julle Afvaardiger.
That is correct, Your Worship.
Dit sal Luitenant-kolonel Venter wees, hy was daar pos, ja.
He was posted there, Your Worship. It should be Lieutenant Colonel Venter.
Okay. Now, when Advocate Holders started his cross-examination, he referred you to Lieutenant Colonel Venter's statement.
Toe
Do you remember that?
Toe de advocaat sy kruisondervraging begin het hy jou verwys na kolonel Venter se verklaring. Onthou meneer?
Dis korrek, Julle Afvaardiger.
That's correct, Your Worship.
And one of the questions that Advocate Holders asked you is, do you agree that General Zulu was a superior officer at the gate? And your response was yes.
Een van die vrae wat die advocaat gevra het gevra dat generaal Zulu.
I should apologize, that's not accurate. I never said at the gate. Sir. I said the superior officer was the general. I never said at the gate.
Duly corrected, Your Worship, and I'll accept that.
Thank you then. No ruling by the court
Thank you,
required.
Advocate Holders. Then, reference was made to paragraph 5, Your Worship, for record purposes. May we just give the witness a copy of the statement of Lieutenant Colonel Venter, marked as Exhibit B.
This will reflect the handwritten statement.
It's a written statement, Your Worship, that's correct.
Paragraph?
Paragraph 5.
Kolonel Venter se
Ja.
verklaring. Dit is bewys dit hier.
Now, sir, you also testified yesterday in cross-examination that General Zulu is the superior officer and she can give an instruction. Is that correct?
Is het so dat meneer gister getuig het en sê dat generaal Zulu die meer senior is en dat sy enige opdrag kan gee?
Dis korrek, Julle Afvaardiger.
That is correct, Your Worship.
I just want to read out verbatim, paragraph 5. Then General Zulu came and informed me that it is fine, they can get inside the cemetery. They then went inside.
Sien meneer Ryan?
Ek sien dit, Julle Afvaardiger.
I see it, Your Worship.
Would you agree with me or disagree with me, sir, that that statement is quite vague and the only person who can indicate as to on what basis the car was allowed would be General Zulu?
Stem meneer saam dat die enigste persoon wat kan antwoord en sê hoekom was die voertuig toegelaat om in te gaan as generaal Zulu?
Dis korrek, Julle Afvaardiger.
That is correct, Your Worship.
Thank you, Your Worship. No further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Ronkus. You are an excuse.
Dankie, meneer kan gaan is verskoon. Dankie.
Thank you, Your Worship. The state then would like to call its next witness, Colonel Charles Sianejo. Joseph, may I just approach the holders for a second?
You may do so.
Thank you.
you, sir. Can you indicate to the court your full names and surname?
O ka bolela kgoratsheko maina ga ka botlalo. Charles Sianago, your worship.
Mr. Sianaho, what language would you be speaking?
Lemi Robert Shalefe. Sesotho, your worship.
Thank you.
Preferred language.
Mr. Sianaho, do you have any objection taking the prescribed oath?
O ka ba ona le boimala ba go ikana? No objection, your worship.
Do you consider the prescribed oath to be binding on your conscience?
Go ikana ba go botsamaisana le maikutlo a gago. Confirmed, your worship.
Raise right hand and repeat after me. Swear that the evidence that you are about to give will be the whole truth, nothing else except the truth, so help me God.
O ka imisa o tsola ola go ja re bopaki bo tlo go rolang ke nnete ka botlalo. O ka re modimo nthuse ke bolele nnete. Signing, your worship.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Baba, your witness.
Thank you, Your Worship. Sir, is it correct that during the month and year of April 2018, you were an employee of the South African Police Service?
Ke nnete gore ka kgwedi ya April ka ngwaga wa 2018 bo berekela maphodisa. Confirmed, your worship. It is
Cell
true.
phone to be switched off.
Can Your Worship, can we just allow the witness to switch his cell phone off?
Yes, about what?
Sir, currently, are you still part of the SAPS?
Ka se sebaka sa berekela maphodisa. On retirement, your worship.
Is it correct that in April 2018, you became the investigating officer of this particular case before court?
Ke nnete gore ka April 2018 bo le mofokodiši wa molato otlhe. Confirmed.
Which police unit did you belong to at the time when you were investigating this matter?
Ke unit ya maphodisa bo wela ka go yona ga go no nyakišiša molato o.
General Investigation Detective Service Provincial Head Office. General Investigation.
General Investigation Detectives
Detective Service.
Services, Johannesburg.
Provincial Head Office, Johannesburg.
Provincial Head Office, Johannesburg, your worship.
Now, this particular docket was opened at Douglasdale Police Station, is that correct?
Molato which you call police station at Douglasdale. Ke nnete. Confirmed.
Can you please inform this court as to how did it come about that your unit took over the investigation in this particular matter?
O ka tlhalosetsa kgorotsheko gore go tlile jang gore unit ya gago e be yona e jang molato otlhe.
I was phoned Provincial Head Office.
I was called by Provincial Head Office,
General Ndlozi.
General Ndlozi.
Ke le mo area ya Douglasdale.
I was around the area in Douglasdale.
The investigator case e nngwe.
I was investigating another case.
And then another case which we got Douglasdale.
He informed me that there was a case that was opened at Douglasdale.
And it's a higher profile case.
It's a high profile case.
Did you then attend at Douglasdale Police Station, sir?
O ile go Douglas Police Station mora.
Ke ile ko police station ka e fumana case eo.
I went to the Douglasdale Police Station. I found a case that was allocated duly to me.
Upon having received this particular docket, are you aware what was the status of the investigation at the time?
How official case? What's the status of case?
Branch commander o ile a ntlhalosetsa status sa yona.
The branch commander explained the status of this case.
In respect of the status of the case, sir, what I mean is, did it require further investigations once you have perused the docket?
Yes, confirmed.
Can you indicate to the court at that particular juncture when you became the investigating officer what was outstanding?
The witnesses ke lebeletse ke kreile lore the witnesses are outstanding.
Witnesses were outstanding as I perused the case.
And then the video footage
video footage from the cemetery was outstanding.
The
Did you manage to now obtain the outstanding witness statement?
The statement you couldn't work out about the
witness statements
Yes, we did find all the witness statements.
Now, sir, the state called two state witnesses before you, one being Mr. Dion Klingbeil and the other one being James Bronkhorst.
Ba biditse dipaki tse pedi ena Klingbeil le Bronkhorst pele ga gago.
As the investigating officer of that particular matter, what was your interaction with first Mr. Dion Klingbeil
Jwale ka monyakišiši wa molato go tlhakana go ba go nyakišiša le ena a Dion Klingbeil le bolediša jwa ngwana le ena? Ke ile ka ya kwa yena ko cemetery kwa. I went to him at the cemetery. Ile ka kopela footage. I then requested the footage from the cemetery. Ile ampha yona. He then provided such. Forensic bag in front of him. I then took the footage and put it inside the forensic bag in front of him. I then went back to the office at Arlington. Yes. At Arlington. SAP 13 register. I then registered it at SAP 13 register. Why you saying? I then took it to the high-tech head office.
Okay, can you just pause there for a second, sir? You indicated that you sealed this particular video material in a seal bag, is that correct?
We locate over it, bag. Correct.
Was Mr. Klingbeil present?
Mr. Klingbeil Valley or Namo? Yes, correct.
Is there any provision that if a witness gives you a video footage that he must sign anywhere on the seal bag, sir?
I would not remember now due to the fact that it's been quite a while.
Now, you testified earlier that after having sealed this bag, you then entered it in the SAP 13 register. Is that correct?
After we lock it or we register the SAP 13. Confirmed.
Just for clarity purposes, sir, can you tell the court what is the purpose and function of the SAP 13 register?
SAP 13. SAP 13 register, we register all exhibits on SAP 13 that we received from the scene.
Now, when you register any exhibit from the scene, do you include that particular exhibit down to a statement form?
How we register our we read our statement. Yes, you also register to a statement.
And when you include that particular exhibit to the SAP 13 book, do you identify who is the person handing it in and who is the person booking it out?
How we register a more SAP 13 I register I book out. That is correct.
Now, whenever a forensic bag is used, is it correct that it has a unique seal number?
Can it in a unique seal number now?
Just one moment, Mr. Baba.
Sorry.
Cell phone is still not off.
Your Worship, may I just ask, maybe the witness...
I can't see clearly past the cameras. I also see there's documents in front. The witness should not have documents unless it is officially introduced as documents. So what document is there?
Documents again.
Inspector, just remove the notes if the
it was just my colleague, Your Worship.
Yes, but there should be nothing in front of the witness. If any evidence is to be introduced, it will be introduced officially to the witness.
No problem. Your Worship, the witness...
I can see it is notes which your previous colleague have left there, but the court just want to make sure. Sorry for the interruption, Mr. Baba.
Sorry, Your Worship. There was an application by the witness, Your Worship. He requests to sit down.
Yes, if there's facility for him to sit, if there's a chair, he may be so
O ka
seated.
dula fast.
May I just get clarity from the court? I know the media has functions to record. Is that not in any way going to obscure your worship's view? Or should we adjourn and rather make some sort of adjustment?
No, it is fine, Mr. Baba. It's
It's
just
fine.
going to delay the matter unnecessary. The court can view to a certain extent, and the court is taking note of the proceedings. It's
Thank you,
just
Worship.
when I saw those papers there, I just believe it was notes which should not be in front of the witness, and as it has been clarified, it is the interpreter's notes.
Thank you,
Thank
Worship.
you, Mr. Baba. You may proceed.
So my last question was, is it correct that when you have a seal bag, it has a unique number?
Ke nnete gore go ne le seatback e ne le unique number. That is correct.
Now that particular unique number, where do you register it on?
Unique number we register go kae?
Unique number eo mo statementeng sa ka e ke tseya exhibit ke isa for analysis. Ya mention mona.
I mentioned it on my statement when I took that exhibit for analysis.
E le mo SAP detail register one by record ona.
He also recorded on SAP 13 register.
Your Worship. Sir, can you recall the unique number? I know it's a long time and you're not in the South African Police Service. Can you recall the unique number?
O ra tswa ke sebaka o se mo maphodiseng mara o sa e gopola unique number eo. I don't recall it currently.
Thank you, Your Worship. For purposes of refreshing the memory, it is just for record purposes, if this witness can just have a look at the statement, just to confirm the unique number registered onto his statement. I'll leave the basis for the statement before I do ask him, just to refresh his memory.
Okay.
If
What
Advocate
is the
Hodges
state
can just
going to
indicate
do?
whether there is any objection.
Further.
So, Your Worship, I didn't hear what Your Worship was saying to my benefit.
I just wanted to remind Mr. Baba that there's two procedures. Refreshing of the witness memory is not the same as proving a statement before the court. So
I was going
I
to say
just
the
needed
same.
clarity with regards to what the state is intending to do, refreshing the memory of the witness, alternatively, or proving the statement before the court.
Your Worship, I can accord. I have no difficulty with him even providing the statement to refresh memory or even putting the seal number to him. It's not in
Yes.
dispute, Your Worship. I have those statements.
Since it is not in dispute, can I also just get clarity? Is the statement going to be used as evidence before the court by the parties?
Most probably, yes, Your Worship.
Is it also going to be submitted as evidence to the court by consent of the parties?
Yes, Your Worship. I have no issue
Then the
with
court
that.
has no difficulty in allowing the statement to be used in this regard.
Thank you, Your
The court
Worship.
will,
As the
however,
court
receive the
wishes.
statement at the required time, and it will be received by consent of the parties.
Your Worship, there's just one aspect. I apologize. There are several statements by this witness. I think there are 4. I have the list of them. What Mr. Baba can just identify.
Yeah. All 4 statements, will it be used as evidence?
Your Worship, I'm not sure if Advocate Hodges would, but however, I think, Your Worship, just for purposes of continuity, can we deal with the first statement, and then as we go, we can rather
That is
deal
what
with
the
each
defense
exhibit.
is also requesting. It's for you to identify the exact statements you are entitled to use.
Thank you, Your Worship. Your Worship, the statement I have already indicated to Advocate Hodges before I call this witness, that the statement I would be dealing with is marked 835 in the docket. Seeing that Advocate Hodges has indicated he has no objections, Your Worship, may I hand the original and a copy for Your Worship, just to expedite the proceeding?
You may do so.
Your Worship, the copy I'm giving you now is the original.
The original to the witness must have the original. This is the original.
That's correct, Your Worship.
Witness.
The second copy I'm handing to Your Worship is a copy for ease of reference to follow the proceedings.
Can I also just get clarity, Mr. Baba? The court attended you yesterday also the copy of the evidence that has also been updated.
Been updated, Your Worship. All files have the same thing.
We'll also put this one into the copy of the record.
That's correct, Your
Thank
Worship.
you, Mr. Baba. You may proceed.
Colonel Chianeco, I just want to get clarification, sir, just for record purposes, although it's not in dispute. On page 2 of the statement that was given to you, Is that correct? It's your signature?
Mo page 2, mo statement sa wapeta of persona, key signature how ailing mo. Signature confirmed, Your Worship.
And this particular statement, was it written in your own handwriting?
In which ka letsola how in writing how ailing mo.
No, he was the investigating officer also the case here.
It was written by the IO, the investigating officer who is currently handling the case.
Okay. Now, sir, in this particular statement, on paragraph 2, you made reference to a forensic bag number. For record purposes, can you just read it out?
More paragraph 2, bolela ka reference number, so ka ibalela gore seko. Yes, I can.
For record purposes, may you please read it out?
Ka ibalela hodimo.
It's PA
PA
500
500
173
173
58
58
94.
94.
Thank you. Now, can you just, for one, just put the statement down, sir? I'll get back to the statement later. Thank you, Your Worship. The state would like to hand a copy of the SAP 13 registered to the witness. Advocate Hodges has got a copy.
Your Worship, I received it this morning, but I've got no objection, Your Worship.
May I proceed then, Mr. Baba?
This is an official document. It has now been commissioned. It meets the requirements of the official document. And on that basis, Your Worship, I would like the witness to deal with it. For ease of record, Your Worship, I would like to give a copy to the court.
Yeah.
The original is being
To the
given
witness.
to the witness. Now, sir, in front of you is a copy, an extract from the SAP 13 register. Is that correct?
So sorry, ke copy ya SAP 13 ba itse mo registering ya ona ke nnete. Correct.
Okay. Now, in the columns marked 1, can you just for record purposes read out what is the purpose and function of point number 1 and what is noted there?
Mo column e makileng 1 ka tlhalosetsa gore re ke eng seo.
This serial number, which is 219,
It's serial number 219.
and the date here 2018-05-10.
It's also a date 05/2018-10.
Now, is it correct that the first entry there is this particular case that we are dealing with?
O ke nnete gore entry ya mathomo ke a case re bolelang ka yona ka tšatši le.
Again, Douglas 380/4/2018.
Ke that is correct. Douglas 380 of 20.
No column number 2.
It is on column 2.
On column 3, it's a description of the exhibit. Is that correct?
Column 3 ke description ya exhibit ke nnete. That's correct.
For record purposes, sir, can you just read out what has been endorsed as the exhibit?
Ke eng se re sengwetse mo ka re balla sona.
This serial number here, exhibit back
It's a serial number for the exhibit back
Okay, for record,
500
500
173
173
56
56
84
84
times 1.
times 1.
CCTV footage
It's CCTV footage.
is a disc.
It's a disc.
on point number 4, sir,
Point number 4 ring.
Point number 4, Kimabitswaka, a Lieutenant Colonel CNF of SAPS.
It's my name, Lieutenant Colonel Sianeho. Ring up.
SAPS Arlington,
SAPS Arlington.
address 41 Guy Gibson, Johannesburg.
Address 41 Guy Gibson, Johannesburg.
Video footage on the scene, 4 Ways Memorial Park.
Video footage on the scene, 4 Ways Memorial Park.
now on the next point number 5, is it, can you indicate to the court what's the purpose of that column?
Okay,
And what's
consider
noted?
point number 5.
column number 5 is where wanabiyana kifika ko cybercrime, and then moto acknowledge that exhibit
it's when I go cybercrime. It's when I arrive at a cybercrime office.
And then warrant officer Smith
that's where Warrant Officer Smith received the exhibit.
And then now with point number 6, sir.
Okay, go point number 6.
Point number 6 is
Point number 6 is my names.
Okay. Now, sir, is this particular unique number and seal rate that you are talking about, is that the video you received from Mr. Dion Klingville?
So, Mr. Dion Klingville. That's correct.
Now, at any stage when Mr. Klingville gave you the video footage, were you present at the time when he was downloading it or putting it down on the CD?
Go I download over a local camera CD.
No.
No, I was not with him.
After having received the CD from Mr. Klingville, did you have any other interaction with him after that?
Half it over that the exhibit over CD on a operation after move. I never met with them anymore.
Now, the state called a second witness yesterday, and it was Mr. James Bronkhorst. Did you deal with Colonel James Bronkhorst during your investigation?
I went to his offices in Mabopani. Mabopani. Mahopanaga. I went to their offices at Mahopanaga at Pretoria.
What was the purpose of the visit?
Video footage
I was informed that there is another video footage that is being held by them there at Mahopanaga.
Are you able to inform this court as to where did you get such information from?
From my immediate commander, Colonel Nama.
I received it from my immediate commander, Colonel Nama.
At any stage, did Mr. Klingville make any reference to Colonel Bronkhorst?
Mr. Klingville,
And that he had a copy of a video?
No.
Oh, sorry. And I'll withdraw it.
Just one moment.
I will withdraw it, Your Worship.
Thank you.
At any stage, did Mr. Klingville ever mention anything about Mr. Bronkhorst?
Mr. Klingville, I don't recall.
You indicated in your testimony that you went then to the premises of Mahopanaga. What happened then, sir?
How fika ko Mahopanaga go diragetseng ka ge o boletse go ile ko bona? I went to his office only to find that he was not there. I then spoke to a female captain named Sikali. I explained the reason why I was there. When I went to her, I had a memory stick with me. I then gave her the memory stick so that she can give it to Bronkhorst. The reason being that I need the footage that he was in possession of.
Now, at the time, did you physically meet Colonel Bronkhorst?
ka nako eo o sa le wa mmona ka boyena. At that time I did not see him, but on the second week I found him.
And did you inquire whether he had a video footage regarding the scene?
O mmotsisitse gore o ne le video footage go ya ka scene eo. He gave me the video footage, then I put it in a forensic bag in front of him. It was sealed in front of him.
Now, did you at any stage inquire from Colonel Bronkhorst as to the circumstances how he ended up having a copy of this video footage?
Go na le mo le gore o mmotsisitse gore go tlile jwang gore a tshware video footage eo. I did not inquire from him because when I went to him, they were in a meeting.
Now, sir, after you have received this particular exhibit, what did you do with it?
How fetsa go ikera o dirileng ka yona? I drove back to my office at Arlington, Johannesburg. I then put it in a SAP 13 register. I then went back to Pretoria. I then took it to cybercrime again.
Now, I just want to make you to go back to your initial statement, sir, the one I gave you. Can you look at paragraph 3 of your statement?
Paragraph 3.
Is that the paragraph dealing with the exhibit received by Colonel Bronkhorst?
Paragraph exhibit Colonel Bronkhorst paragraph number 3. Yes, it is.
Okay, can you, for record purposes, can you just read it out, sir?
It's written PA 500 173 58 94.
Now, Your Worship, once again, I have given my learned colleague a copy of the SCP-13 dealing with this. Can you just confirm that, Your Worship?
Confirmed, Your Worship. Received this morning.
Any objection with regards to the use
No,
of
Your
it?
Worship.
Thank you then. Mr. Baba, you may proceed.
A moment, Your Worship. Sorry, Your Worship, I'm just going to hold on to that. Give me the wrong one.
Yes, you may.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry, Your Worship, I just want to make a photocopy of it quickly. I'll continue in the meantime with this witness. I'll get back
We
to
have
you.
a spare copy here, Madam.
Your Worship, can I give the original to the witness? And the spare copy, can I just for purposes for reading out?
Yes.
Thank you. Your Worship, it's just highlighted to the police station.
Huh?
Once again, Your Worship, this is an official document and we are in possession of a certified copy. No. Now, sir, is it correct we have the SCP-13 extract dealing with this particular exhibit?
Ke ne to re SAP 13 lo ba itshije bolela ka molato okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Once again, for record purposes, sir, can you just read out from point 1 to point 6 as to the process that was followed?
O ka re balla from point 1 to 4.6 jaka dirile mathomo mo.
Serial number 219.
I see the serial number 219. I see the date, the 10th of May 2018.
Column number 2 is station name, which is Douglas Dale.
Column number 2 is the station name, which is Douglas Dale.
Case number 380 of 4 2018.
Case number 380 of 4 2018.
Column number 3.
Okay.
The serial number.
Column number 3 is the serial
Can I
number.
ask the witness to pause, Your Worship? Can I just verify that Your Worship also has the exact copy of that extract? Is it the exact copy of the extract that the witness is testifying about? Because
Yes,
it brought to my attention, it's not.
Bishop, it's not, there's nothing sinister. He's given him a copy of the previous one because they have different dates. Your Worship will see, for ease of reference, one is A35 from the docket, the other one has A41, which is crossed out in A39. So the witness has already read the one for 10 May 2018, seems to be reading a copy of the same one again. He needs to have in front of him a copy of A35. I saw there was confusion in our copies received, but I picked it up because we were always looking for A38 and 39 of the documents. So if they can just switch.
Your Worship, my colleague is going to assist us to make a proper copy of it. Thank you, Your Worship.
Yeah.
Colonel, can you just hold on to that? I'll come back to that, sir.
The Colonel's got the wrong one.
Yeah, no, okay. I'll get back to you reading out the transcript. There's just been a mix-up with regard to the SP13 extract. Sir, now, when you received these particular exhibits from Mr. Klingbeil, at any stage, who was in total control of the exhibit from the time you received it till the end stage when you handed it to the cyber unit?
Banka was barakema mutolo ba isfero ba elor ba controller from the moment we receive until we examine about the cyber crime.
Okay, my immediate commander, Colonel Nama.
It was my immediate commander, Colonel Nama.
Now, as far as Colonel Broncos is concerned, from the time you received the exhibit up to the stage was handed over to the cyber unit, who was in control of that exhibit?
Na go isa go Broncos before he go cyber unit. Kimang mutolo ba isfero. Can you rephrase and state where?
Okay. You have received the exhibit from Colonel Broncos. You put it in a sealed forensic bag.
So he carried the Colonel Broncos then while local camera still taken.
Your evidence is it was then entered into the SAP-13 book,
Where ka wena ilokage camera SAP-13
and subsequent to that it went to the cybercrime unit.
and then morao ha mo ya go cybercrime unit.
In that entire process, after having received the exhibit from the witness, who was in control of that particular exhibit at all material times?
How fetsa o ikera mo na Colonel Broncos ke ma ba le mo position ya no control ya yona.
All the time.
It was myself all the time.
I'm just going to, seeing that we had a misunderstanding, I just want to go back. With regard to Dion Klingbeil, was it the same process or was it a different process?
Leka Dion Klingbeil daily processes are now.
No, it was the same process.
It was the same process.
So when you testified earlier, you said the person in charge was Colonel Nama. What was Colonel Nama's involvement in this process?
How rola upaki urile ke Colonel Nam. So merwa be mo process ne kama.
Colonel Nama ne immediate commander ya ka a cheka dikete tsaka gore ke comply le instructions tsa senior colonel.
Colonel Nama was my immediate commander, so he was checking all or verifying all my dockets to ensure that I complied with all the instructions from the prosecutor.
Now, sir, in front of you, I've given you the correct extract of the SAP-13. Do you have it in front of you?
SAP-13. That's correct.
For record purposes, can you please read out what has been entered in the SCP-13 book from point 1 to point number 6?
O kare vale la or ke iselo si locate ka mo ko point 1 official ko point number 6.
More copy here SAP 13, my column number 1, is serial number.
Column number 1, there's a serial number,
Which is 261.
which is 261,
The date,
and the date therein.
2018.
There is 2018, the witness is not certain of the month herein.
There is
He cannot confirm whether is it 6 or 8.
of 4.
The day thereof is the 4th.
And then more column number 2 is Douglas date,
From column number 2 is Douglas Dale.
case number 380 of 4, 2018.
Case number is 380 of 4, 2018.
And then column number 3 is serial number, forensic bag.
Column number 3 is a forensic bag serial number.
It reads as follows: PA 500
PA 500
173
173
58
58
94
94
1 times USB CCTV video footage.
1 times US. Can you speak?
USB.
Okay, times 1 USB CCTV footage video.
And who is the person who handed it in?
Kimang are you handling in?
Column number 4
Column number 4, it was handed in by myself
from the crime scene,
from the crime scene,
and then 4 ways memorial parts.
which is from 4 Ways Memorial Park.
This signature yakho.
There is my signature endorsed therein.
And then the date,
There's a date.
2018 0604.
The date is 2018-06-04.
Column number 5. Column number 5, it is signature, warrant officer.
Column number 5, it's a signature of the warrant officer.
Date 2018 0618.
Date is 2018-06-13.
And then 2018
Then there is the 2018, the witness cannot confirm the month herein.
2023.
The date herein is the 23rd,
Received back.
received back.
Then the investigating officer will also case.
I think as the current the IO, the investigating officer.
And then more column number 6. Column number 6, the date again, 2018 08 23.
There is a date of 2018-08-23.
Your name is sort of received
It's written received
by constable, I can't see this, of the same office of non-arrested.
from the constable from my same office, but then the witness cannot confirm who it is as he cannot see properly.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. For purposes of ease of record, may I request that we mark the statement currently that the witness is dealing with. There's a next exhibit, that being Exhibit I.
Okay, we're not going to use Exhibit I, it's a numerical number, so it is Exhibit J.
Exhibit J. Fine, Your Worship.
So this-
I don't want to be rude by interrupting, so we don't have the same problem as before. Can we make this the J series of documents, but as I stated, Your Worship, this witness is deposed to 4 statements. This is the 3rd of those 4 statements. So in anticipation, if we could make it J3, because I can assure you, Your Worship, as I've said, there will be J1 and J2 which predate this statement. This is the 3rd in the series of 4. So I propose that the statement be J3, and then we can give another series of numbers to the SAP 13s that relate to him. So we propose either J5 and J6 or K1 and K2, Your Worship, so that it flows logically, or chronologically, I beg your pardon.
Mr. Bauer?
Thank you, Your Worship. My request was actually if we mark it in Exhibit J, and then because of this witness statement, the SAP 13 flows, it actually be marked as one exhibit, for example, J1, and then the SAP 13, the first one, J2, and the SAP 13, J3. If that is suitable to the orders.
I think what the advocate is indicating is that there is still other statements of the witness which will be used. So those will be Exhibit J1 and J2, and this will then be the last statements in the link of the statements which was deposed. So at this stage, the court will let the exhibits be used, and the exhibits will only be marked after the court have received all the exhibits, because I've already started to allocate the numbers to the copies, but I think it is best to leave it until we are done and the court have received all the evidence, and then the court will mark it as to flow as per the chain as indicated by the state and the defense.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm basically finished with my examination in chief, but for ease of reference, just so we can move forward, Your Worship, maybe if the advocate holder says no objection, can I rather hand in now, at least by consent, all the other statements?
If
As I
there is
won't
no
be using it.
objection, yes.
There's no objection, Bishop, it'll save some time.
It will also then put the court in a position to mark it, and then the questions can relate exactly to what document we are using.
Thank you.
So I think Inspector, those documents.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just for record purposes, Your Worship, the first statement handed in is the first statement marked as 835. Just for the docket content is 835. The second one, just for advocate holders to confirm, the second original statement will be handed in is the one marked 810. The third one comprises of 2 pages, 817.1 and 817.2. And then the fourth statement marked as 846.
I confirm those references.
That is then the order of the statements. So the first statement is marked as 810.
No. Thank you, Your Worship.
Then the second one is 817, and then 846.
835, 846.
I do not have 835.
That's the one that was used by Malema.
The original is sitting on the witness at the moment, Your Worship.
835 is then, and then after 835 it will be then the 2 SAP 13
No,
records.
there's 846, Your Worship, there are 4 statements. It's 810, 817, 835, and
Can the court just
846.
confirm the first statement to be marked will be 810.
Yes, Your Worship.
The second one is 817, and then the third one will be 846.
835.
846, Your Worship.
846 comes after 835. then.
Yes, Your Worship.
And then it will be the 2 SCP 13 records.
Where's the proof, Your Worship?
Is the originals or?
So the all originals, the only photocopies that the certified copies are making ending with the SCP 13 book, Your Worship.
And then the SAP 13 was indicated by the state. The first one will be the one which is dated the 10th of May 2018. And then the second one will be the 4th. I think it is the one where the witness says he does not know what the date is. It's 2018. It looks like a 8 or 4. That is then the second one.
Duly noted, Your Worship. So just one last question. Do you know what happened to the original SCP-13 book in this particular matter?
pušiša mapele gore ba re wa tseba gore go diragetseng ko original SAP 13. I know nothing.
And at the time you retired, do you know what happened to this particular docket before your retirement?
I'll retire before we retire. Wa tseba go diragetseng ka
Before ke retire, ba ile ba tseya tsotlhe ditokete tsaka, ba di allocata to other members.
all my dockets were allocated to other members.
Thank you, Your Worship. No further questions.
Just one moment, advocate. I'm just so busy marking all these documents. just before we do proceed, I do not have all the copies of the exhibits. The state have handed me all the originals, but I do not have copies of A10, A17,
I spare copies, Worship. I'll hand to you, Worship.
and then A35, and
A10,
46,
A10, Worship A17, it's 2 pages, and then I have A35, a copy for you, Worship, to work on. And then A46. That's 1 page. Thank you.
Just for record purpose, the exhibits which the court have now received consist out of statements of the said witness which is before the court, which is then been marked as exhibit J1, J2, J3, or alternatively, just for all parties to follow the court, exhibit J1, it's also known as A10, exhibit J2 is also known as A17, and exhibit J3 is also known as A35. Exhibit J4 is also known as A46. Then it also refers to the 2 SAP 13 records, which has been received as exhibit J5 and J6. The court will rule on the said exhibits. The court have received all the exhibits by consent of the parties and ruled that it is admissible as evidence before the court.
Thank you, Your Worship. Also for record purpose, I think J5, Your Worship will see, was A39, and J6 was A38, I think it is.
J5?
J5, Your Worship, is A39. It's on the left-hand side in the middle of the page at the top, Your Worship. And J6 is A38.
The copies which I'm having does not bear any other reference to such. Let me just see on the originals.
Center of the page. Go to the right and top.
This is a copy. Yes. A35 would refer to exhibit J6, and then as indicated, exhibit J5 is then, is it 8:39?
It's 8:39. The previous one, Your Worship, I know it's hard to make, it's 8:38. Thank you.
I can
Now,
confirm that, Your Worship.
this, I believe this is the copies which the state have then submitted. I believe this would be the originals.
That's
if it's
correct.
not so.
The one with the
And-
holes in there, the originals?
J6, this for confirmation is 8:35.
Yes, it's 8:38, Your Worship. I know it's difficult to make it up. If
Yeah.
we have
Okay,
8:35. already, yeah.
8:38.
8:38.
Yes, Your Worship, please.
I confirm same, Your Worship.
Thank you, Mr. Otis.
Thank you, Your Worship.
I believe you're also going to use the said documents in the
Yes, Your
process.
Worship.
Inspector?
May I proceed, Your Worship?
You may do so.
Thank you.
Just give to the witness.
Colonel, I know you've retired, but how many years of service did you have in the South African Police Service before you retired?
ra tswa gore o retired, so ba yang o tswa gore o ne o bile le dingwaga e mekae o berekela maphodisa 43 years.
And at the time of this incident in April 2018, how many years did you have? How many years of experience?
Ka April 2018 we setse no le ngwaga e mekae ya tsebo ba ya experience 42.
So you had 42 years of experience at the time, and as you've told this court, this was regarded as a high-profile matter. Do you confirm that?
Ka nako e bone le mengwaga e me 42 ka ge o tlhaloseditse kgoro ya tsheko gore molato ke molato o le gore o godimo wa high profile. Ka nako e bone le mengwaga e 42 ya tsebo ba ya experience, and then ebile o tlhaloseditse kgoro ya tsheko gore molato ke high profile. That's correct.
And it's logical because you don't normally have a high-ranking colonel with 42 years experience investigating common assault. Do you agree with me?
Gantši high official o renkang ko godimo ko maphodiseng a go dire gore a no investigate case ya go tshwana le ya common assault.
General investigation.
I explained when I testified that my component was actually general investigations.
I agree, but you're not going to escape, sir. For a 42 years experienced lieutenant colonel to investigate a common assault, it had to be regarded as a high-profile matter and one of importance. Do you agree with me?
Go ne le mengwaga e me 42 ba o fa case ya go tshwana le ke ba lebeletse le mengwaga ya go ya tseo go tlhalosa gore molato ke molato o le gore o botlhokwa ebile ke molato o le gore o godimo. All matters to me are important.
So if my neighbors have a dispute, I can call somebody of your experience to come and sort it out.
So ga moagelano a ka ne le mathata nka bitsa motho a go tshwana le wena gore a tlo o ilokiša. I don't understand what you are trying to express.
Well, I'll make it very clear to you. You told this court that you had to go you had to make a turn at Douglasdale Police Station because this was a high-profile matter.
O tlhalositse gore o bile le gore o tsamaye o ye ko Douglasdale because of molato ke molato o le gore o ko godimo. That's correct.
Right. This being a high-profile matter, you agree it's been in the media. Do you agree with that?
Ke a jwalo ka e le molato o godimo o mo the media wa dumela. Confirmed?
And you knew that it involved members of parliament who held a certain status in society. Do you agree with me?
E bile be ne le ba le di-member tsa parlamente ba maema godimo ra phahameng. That is correct. As I read it, I noticed that it is indeed members of the parliament.
And you knew, therefore, that it was going to be very sensitive and that everything has to be done correctly. Do you agree with me?
Ba o tseba ka nako e gore sengwe le sengwe goba dilo tše ka moka tshwanetse di dirwe ka maleba.
That's correct.
I'm not saying that all other cases shouldn't be done correctly. I'm saying here there was specific attention that was required to the detail of the matter. Do you agree with me?
I go ama di molato mo sentse ska yela tlhoko but then mo molato mo ke sentse yela tlhoko detail ka di detail. That's correct.
So the first statement that you made in this matter is before you. It's 8:10. Do you agree with me?
810 mo pele ga ke statement sa motho mo se o se dirile ra dumelana ka sona se.
Now you'll notice that this statement does not have a date on it of when it was taken.
How will the statement say he has not date or securely name?
Do you know when you deposed to this statement?
And now popular o se dirile next statement is. The witness is still verifying. Are you referring to 810?
Yes.
Yes. It was made on the 20th of March 2019.
You deposed to the statement on the 20th of March 2019, such a change.
Se o se bolelang gore se dirile ka 20 March 2019. Yes.
Now you must I put it to you that dates and the sequence of events are very important when it comes to the chain of evidence. Do you agree with me?
Ha re lebeletse bopaki gore bo tsamaya jwang di date swentse di tsamaye ka malema o ka maleba o dumelana le nna. That's correct.
In fact, that was the very purpose of this statement, was to record a particular date and what had happened on that date. Do you agree with me?
Ibile ke lebaka la gore statement se swentse se ngwale date ibile gore go diragetseng ka tšatši le o dumelana le nna. Date and time is written.
And when we talk of date and time, you also need to record what happened. And when it comes to the chain of evidence or chain of custody, the seal numbers. Do you agree with me?
Ha re lebeletse di date ibile re lebella gore di bopaki bo bo tsamaya jwang le di seal number swentse di latelana ka molao o dumelana le nna. Can you please rephrase the question?
With pleasure. I'll even simplify it. Not only date and time are important, but also the recording of the seal numbers. Do you agree with me?
A se date le nako tse le gore di botlhokwa fela le seal number e le gore e ngwetse mo statement le yona e botlhokwa o dumelana le nna. Agreed.
Right. So your statement, which you've now dated on is 20 March 2019, reads as follows.
Date e le gore o e ngwetse ka 20 March 2019 e balaga ka tsela e.
Charles Mandla-Kapeli Sianego states under oath in English that
Mo a bolela gore o bolela o ikanne ka leme la Sekgowa gore
when I'm a lieutenant colonel with personnel number, and it gives your number, stationed at Provincial Head Office, SAPS, 16 Empire Road, Gauteng Province, Johannesburg.
e bolela seemo sa gore o mang go ya ka mošomo le gore o station le ko kae o dumelana le nna.
You then give your telephone numbers and record that you're assigned to the Detective Service General Investigations.
Ebile e ngwetse di cell phone number tša gago le gore o berekela lefapha lefe. That's correct.
Right. You then say here in paragraph 2, on 23 May 2018, I received a footage disc from SAPS Mompanaga regarding Douglasdale CAS 380/04/2018 for further investigation. Is that correct?
Right.
Wait one.
Yeah, sure.
That's correct, confirmed by the witness.
You continue. So I also received another footage disc from Fourways Memorial Parks. Is that correct?
O bolela gape gore ke re le footage o tla go Fourways Memorial Park ke nnete. Which paragraph are you at?
2.
Paragraph number 2.
Yeah, correct.
Confirmed?
Right. Paragraph 3. Both footage discs were sealed and not tampered with until handed in Pretoria SAPS head office, high tech for analysis.
ba re di-exhibit tse e le gore di tshwere ka bobedi ga tsona ga di a tshwenya goba di a tsenelelwa ka gare be di seletšwe until di fitlha kwa Pretoria. Confirmed.
You then say in paragraph 4, I know and understand the contents of the statement. I have no objections to take the prescribed oath. I consider the prescribed oath to be binding on my conscience. You then sign Lieutenant Colonel C.M. Sianejo, is that correct?
Mo wa ikana gore bopaki botlhe bo leng gare ga document e goba statement se ke nnete ka botlalo ebile bo tsamaisana le maikutlo a gago mafelelong o saenile go ya ka molao. Go jalo.
4 of A4, A10 or A17.
Are you referring to A10 or A17?
A10.
A10.
That's correct.
That's correct. Confirmed.
So the important aspects of your statement here is that on the 23rd of May 2018, you received 2 discs. Do you agree with me?
Se se botlhokwa gore ka 20 May 2017 o kry-ile di-district tse pedi o dumelana le nna? No.
No, you say it.
Ke seo se ngwetseng mo.
Paragraph 2.
Paragraph number 2.
On 23 May 2018, I received a footage disc from SAPS Mopanaga regarding Douglas Del CS 380-04-2018 for further investigation. I also received another footage disc from Four Ways Memorial Parks.
Se se ngwetse ka yona ngwaga wa 2018 ka May gore o receive di-exhibit goba di-video tse pedi gona mo.
Memorial Park.
I want to explain. At a Memorial Park,
Memorial Park, I received exhibit number 1. It was before
I received exhibit 1. That was before I went to Maupanaga. Mara se sengwe ka Sekgowa, Sejahlapi.
So you say you received the one from the police first and you got the one from the Four Ways Mall afterwards?
So re kerile sa mathomo ko maphodiseng then a moraga mo ke mo kerile sa Four Ways Memorial. I received the first one at Four Ways Memorial.
And then the second one, Kadi 23, I received
on the 23rd, I received the second one from Bronhorst.
You're certain of that?
Oh,
that's not what your statement says.
Statement in Sahara. I agree that is actually what is not written on my statement.
A few things aren't written here, sir. Number 1, you'll see you refer to both discs in paragraph 3, both footage disc. So one gets the impression that it was 2 discs, CD discs. Do you agree with me?
So more statement is how much you obligate to carry the disc JP. So motunana or bedil kana ko 80. According to the statement, I confirm.
On top of that, you talk of receiving the footage disc from the SAPS on 23 May 2018. You confirm that date?
Disc or footage disc 23 May 2018. At Mapopanaga, yes.
You then say that you also received another footage disc from Four Ways Memorial Parks. Is that correct?
Four Ways Memorial Park. Yes, I received it, but it was before.
When did you receive it?
Can I confirm with my diary?
Please.
It was on Friday.
According to my diary, it was the 4th of May on a Friday.
That was memorial, Four Ways Memorial Service.
That was at Four Ways Memorial Services.
That's not in any statement, you agree with me?
Yes, I agree.
You then took the first item and you booked it into the SAP 13, which is also sorry, before we even move there, On your statement 810, there's no reference of any booking into an SAP 13. Do you agree with me?
Mo statementeng sa gago ga gona mo le gore o ngwetse goba mo go bontšhang gore o bolela ka SAP 13 goba booking ya SAP 13 o dumelelana le nna?
Statement is
Which statement are you referring to? Because A17 is endorsed actually.
810, J1.
O bolela ka A10 J1.
Okay, 10 yeah, 18.
I confirm that there is nowhere in A10.
And you say you deposed to this statement on the 20th of March 2019.
Or 20 March 2019. You're referring to which statement?
So what you then did is, if we look at J5,
J5.
you took the first disc that you had received, and you handed it into the SAP 13, is that correct?
Why lokela ko SAP 13 ke nnete? Yes, that's true.
Which disc was this?
O bolela ka efe disc? I'm referring to the disc that I received from Dion at Four Ways Memorial Park.
Mr. Klingbill.
Klingbill. Dion Klingbill.
I don't remember the same name.
I don't remember the same name, but then I call him Dion.
So you took it from Dion. Now, would it surprise you that Dion says, and he's told the court under oath, that you never sealed it in the forensic bag in front of him?
So, good man, let's say Dion asked me to make a seko or I was to was I will disagree with him.
And you never mentioned in your statement, but some 2 years later you're ready to disagree with him.
So, limo statement sa I was to play like I'm maybe after more room to Can you replace, please?
Yes. You never recorded in your statement at the time, your contemporaneous statement, that you had sealed it in a forensic sealed bag in front of him. But 2 years later, you want to argue with him.
Most statement in so simultaneously. I want all or still mo pela mara now me wa me be di say fitile so tunya ka wa na itana le.
Paragraph number, I think, more A17.
When you refer to A17 paragraph number?
Paragraph number 2.
Paragraph number 2.
During my tour of investigation, I approached the security officer, Mr. Dion Klingberg, who is stationed at Four Ways Memorial Park, for the CCTV footage of the incident. I received it and sealed it in a forensic bag number PA 500173. I then went back to my office, number 41 Guys Gibson Avenue, and entered the exhibit in our SAP 13 register. Cyrano. Yes, I didn't indicate that I sealed it in front of him.
I did not indicate that I sealed it in front of me, in front of him, rather.
Of Dion. I agree with you. You've never indicated that. So you sealed it sometime unknown, but when you deposed your statement on 20 March 2019, you didn't even mention sealing it. You agree with me?
Le ka 20 March go sengwala statement se a bolela gore o installe mo pele ga. That's correct.
So if one read 810 on its own, you received them, you kept them under your control, and then you took them to be analyzed at High Tech. There's no mention anywhere of them being placed into SAP 13 or controlled, or even being put into forensic bags. Do you agree with me?
Ga motho ba la statement se o di tšee wa di tshwara mo go wena until ebile o di isha ko High Tech. Ga gona mo o buletseng gona mo statement se gore o se registerile ko SAP 13. O dumelana le nna?
2017 sentse ke tlhalositse gore ke ile ka sorela mo SABC.
I disagree with you because on A17 statement that I have before me, I mentioned or made mention of such.
I'm talking about J1, I've made it very clear.
So re like J1 and then re like J1.
And it's unfortunate, but I have to put it to you. It's the most basic statement that a first-year constable would make, to say received an item and he booked it into the SAP 13 with the reference numbers. It's inexcusable that you never recorded it, sir.
I want to say this statement or was carried was record was or bereka jwan sila molao theolo re la ke re bona lo roanya ke ga mo lo re lebele tsona so ona di excuse le re motho a neng le tsebo a ka di bolela mabapi le sona statement se go ba tsela ile re botsa bopaki ka yona bo bolela go dinyana. What was your initial question?
I'll tell it to you as many times as you want to hear it, sir. As unfortunate as to have to say to you after 42 years of experience, a first-year constable would have known when you book something into the SAP 13, he records the serial number and the serial number. It's inexcusable that you haven't.
So I tell us our partly village motors and alone in Litzibo. I mean, 42 years over a Kamoma police. First year. Constable, so kisa mathomo solo ra ka sira yena ga fitla a ngola di serial number a ngola di date go ya ka lenane go le go ya ka tsebo go tlhalosa ra ona di excuse tlo ro ka di bolela jwala ka motho lo rone le tsebo mme ga e mentši ya tsebo. Correct. I'm listening.
If one looks at your statement, prior to your explanation that you had received the second footage first and on a different date, it also showed that you received something on the 23rd of May 2018, but had booked it in to the SAPS 13 on the 10th of May 2018, because there was no reference to the serial numbers.
Le sa bobedi se lo re o se receive ka letšatši la di 23 May 2018 le gona mo ga bolela di serial number tša gona.
Sa bobedi.
Are you referring to the second one?
Okay, no,
Are you referring to the second exhibit?
yes. There's only one date given in A10 in J1.
Go
It's 23
A10.
May 2018.
Dated.
The SAPS 13 starts before that on the 10th of May 2018.
So date e le gore e ngwetswe mo statementeng ke date ya di 23 May 2018 ga bopaki bo bo thomile ka letšatši la di 10 May. E fela mo statementeng re bona date ya di 23 May 2018. That is correct.
If you then turn to J2, the
Just
document
before
that
we're
you
going to go to J2, Mr. Otis, the court notice it's 11. We're already 5 minutes past 11. However, the court will grant the 5 minutes back to 20 past 11.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Sianego, you may stand.
Go ka emela sebaka.
You are still under oath. You are not allowed to discuss your evidence with anyone. You understand?
O sa e ka nne a wa sa nna go bolela seo se boletseng mo le mongwe goba mang le mang wa kwešiša.
Ke a kwešiša.
Confirmed, your worship.
Court will adjourn for tea time. We will resume at 20 past 11.
Re tla bua ka
Court adjourned.
11. le right le ka re dula gona more nyaka betla ke moyanyana nyaka betla ke moyanyana okay
You don't have. The one that was scratched out. There was extra copy.
What extra copies of it?
Yeah, I know it's written, but it's not marked on this one.
Maybe we can try to compromise.
Yes.
Yeah, just sort of. Not in my background. Sky stand. Sky stand.
Let me just see if it's complete. That's what I want to see.
We have one page of each.
Yeah, one of it. I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
Because that
There's
one-
no second page.
Yes, you've got A6,
A31, A32, A42.
32 I have, 832, 843. That's what it is, a blank one.
Yeah.
You've got that. And A6
and A31.
and A31. Yeah. Okay, just to be on the same page.
Okay, what page are we on?
No, this is one statement. I just want to confirm what she has. Because everything is just...
The prosecutor's one.
Go towards the magistrate. Entrance to the magistrate.
Turn right.
You know what it
The
is?
magistrate.
So we always go to the magistrate.
Yeah.
Just turn right. If you're just going to call
As
you
if
to
you're
right.
walking to the magistrate.
Not left, right.
Left is the
Opposite,
man.
opposite the other ones.
Was she what did we went to the training?
Yeah, she's always good.
No man. With the
Okay, the answer is?
No, I'm just asking what she has. She also has 111.
There's only one statement.
Yes, but there's these two statements basically. This is a blank one,
Yeah.
832, 834,
Hmm.
but this is the same.
It's the same thing.
The same thing.
I thought I was seeing things. I wasn't
And
seeing
then
things.
A6 and A31, it's the same. But that is how it's marked. I don't know. And this is the blank one. They also have the blank one, so I'm going to leave the blank one out.
Wait, what's it?
He was sitting outside.
No, I don't see.
That's my copy.
Yeah, no, I don't see that.
Just the handwriting is a disgrace. Handwriting is impossible.
If you see how many stuff we read a day with the handwriting, you will just scream, I promise you. That one, sometimes you can't even make out what to charge. But this is
Where's the back part? Okay, this is what I'm looking for. How it is? Okay. I see now on the back part your copy didn't come out. The A6. Okay? But that is just, I now understand the contents of it. I'll make a copy because you probably are going to hand that up. But I'm looking for the others, if there's anything else. But where's the others? Okay, so the back part was just, okay, let me go make it. How this? I see the back part didn't come out on your stuff, eh? How this? No, it's fine. Look here. The feeder did make both sides. So what I'm doing is just doing it. No, yes, it's fine. I need to make holders.
That's what I'm looking for.
This is the back part. That's why I'm going through it because it's not in the correct order. So let me quickly make copies. It's just luckily on the back part. It's just the oath.
Okay, then make. I think make.
I am
you
gonna
can double it. Make 5 one time. Just the oath. Okay. That's what I wanted to see. 7. Okay. That's what I wasn't so sure. I was trying to verify.
Thank you.
Because my copy as well didn't come out with the back part.
What's the time? We're going to walk in now. No walk in now. Okay. Can I call your client? Yeah, here, in the corner. But they normally keep track of time, huh? They know their own time. I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to request a little bit time with Smith. What don't say okay? Huh? No, seriously. I noticed it when you're standing up. You were also talking. No. Okay, we'll talk about this just now. There's something to observe. It's a private issue, I'll do this stuff. Smart, but the guy from the cyber unit. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's it. She's sick. She's sick. I still don't know what number is involved. I still trying to figure it out. But I just wait for Michelle with the proper statement with the commission because it's causing confusion here.
Now.
I set up last night doing 2 urgent reports, I tell you. No, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. I mean, I had 254 WhatsApp messages and I had about 80 emails. And I still haven't gotten to the emails. I haven't responded to the emails yet. This is my witnesses will be done today. My witnesses are done today. Yeah, and after that, Michelle takes over. Yeah, I'll ask Michelle now. Remember, I only concentrate on 3 witnesses. This is chain evidence.
They said that maybe once you call, then Zulu.
Yeah. They only call Jim Zulu. But that's Michelle's witnesses, not mine. I'm only dealing with this. I'm done. I'm done. After Smith, I'm done. I'm done with leading witnesses. No, my portion. My portion is only these 3 witnesses. Then Michelle's, the others are Michelle's witnesses. Brother, it's probably run to lunch. It's probably run to lunch.
Yeah, move.
No.
One more box.
It's probably run to lunch. But I want to finish my work there. Yeah, no. But you told me the proper statement.
It's in the car.
We'll never know. We'll never ever know. What's wrong with you? No, wheelchair is here. That's my wheelchair is here. Doctor, I recognize it. I recognize it. The message that was sent, I recognize it. Doctor. think we just right. We don't put professionals. I said I could recognize it, but it's not intelligible. That? It's not meant to be disrespectful. Where's Michelle now? I'm trying to get a statement.
And obviously, if you really want to relate to case, you are a boy, in a patronage.
Someone phoned us. I noticed there was a phone with office sheet. The last time we went to his office. No, so he looked at it. No, your one. Specifically your one.
Let me explain.
Specifically your one. No, specifically your one.
Mr. Baba, can you hear me?
Huh?
Are you wearing black and red?
Yes.
Okay.
I always wear black and white.
Just checking.
I always wear black and white. It's an official dress code when you actually appear in court. You must wear dark colors. You must wear a white shirt.
Red.
No, red tie is different, but you must wear a white shirt and
But
black
related
trousers.
to this case.
I had a black tie yesterday with white. Will you just clarify that guys with Dr. Ndlozi? I don't know. It is acknowledged. Yeah?
10 minutes.
No. What I mean is a consultation. Because there's a couple of statements that you clarify. I never went to the back page also. No. I'm waiting for my copy.
And I understand the way you don't take like that. Maybe it's already talk a bit. Or you're listening anymore, or you're listening anymore. I
Also,
understand.
you in my analysis of the document was missing 38 and 39.
Into what I understand.
That makes sense.
No, that is paper 38. You go to sleep. I just want to see. Right. No, I just want to see one thing. Right, hold on. I'll see the tenth of May, right? Okay. Right. What is 10th of May? Which is the next one? What is 10th of May? Okay. So we have three different statements. Yes, I think you should. And then and also I want clarity on something here. I just want to hear the SCP-13 because this is SCP-13 when I'm looking at it now. Yeah. No, what is one? But verify this for me. You see that? I need to know that. Yes. I need to verify this. Okay, thank you.
That's right.
No. Let's go.
Cameraman, not allowed. Court is in session. Thank you. Be seated. Inspector, just one moment. Inspector, if the court comes in, the court have clearly indicated no still photos is to be taken when the court is in session. And once the magistrate enter the door, there is no photos to be taken. So please see to it that nobody is in front of the bench. They are not allowed in front of the bench. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bauer.
Thank you, Mr. We are back on record.
Thank you. It's case number 3/4067/2019. The appearances at the resumption is as before. Mr. Malema and Mr. Ndlozi, you may be seated. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Can you indicate to the court your full names and surname?
Charles Matlakapeli Sianego.
Charles Majakapeli Sianego.
Mr. Sianego, you're still under oath. You have not discussed your evidence with anyone. Is that correct?
Correct.
That's correct, Your Worship.
Thank you, Mr. Otis. You may proceed with cross-examination.
Thank you, Bishop. Colonel, would you please turn to J2, the document that you keep on wanting to refer to? I'm going to now give you the chance. A17.
Like A2 document A17.
And you'll see it's headed Douglasdale CAS 380/04/2018.
Douglas Day CAS 380/04 of 2018.
And it says statement under oath in English that Charles Mandla-Kayela-Sianego, with your identity number, your address, at this stage not employed, and then you say in paragraph 1, I was assigned with the case of assault of SAPS Douglasdale as per CAS 380/04/2018, which was committed at Fourways Memorial Park, I think it's Johannesburg, on the 14th April 2018, deceased Mrs. Winnie Madikizela-Mandela. It's in the wrong order there, but that's the name. Do you confirm paragraph 1?
Paragraph 1 confirmed.
Paragraph 2. During my term of investigation, I approached the security officer, Mr. Dion Klingbeil, who is stationed at Fourways Memorial Park, for the CCTV footage of the incident. Do you confirm that so far, sir?
sa mathomo sa se boletse mo dumelana le sona go ya ka paragraph e le mo pele ga pele ga sefatlhego sa gago. Confirmed?
And you've attributed a date to that by reference to your diary of 4 May 2018, is that correct?
O boletse ka date ya 4 May go ya ka diary ya gago ke nnete. Confirmed?
You continue in your statement. I received it and sealed it in a forensic bag number PA 50017355604. You confirm, as you've already pointed out, that you may have sealed it, but not. It doesn't say that you did so in front of Mr. Dion Klingbeil. You agree?
Mo paragraph ya explain gore o ise go ba o itsaletse le go boletse pele gore a ga dira gore a wa itsalla mo pele a sefatlhego sa gae go ba o ne le ena. O dumela sa se bolelang? Confirmed?
You say, I then went back to my office, number 41 Guy Gibson Avenue, Parktown, I beg your pardon, Ayrton, and entered the exhibit in our SAP 13 register, serial number 219.
Correct.
You agree with that?
O dumela sa se boletse gore confirmed, Bishop?
Right. Now I want to put to you, if you read that, you'll think that it all happened on the same day. That on the 4th of May, you went and fetched this exhibit, and you took it to your SAP 13 register. Do you agree with me?
O dumela le nna gore ka letsatsi la di 4 May o kry-ile exhibit e ke ebile wa isa ko SAP 13. Confirm?
You then say in paragraph 3, I immediately took the exhibit to Pretoria Cybercrime Investigation for analysis on the 10 May 2018 without being tampered with.
Wa dumela gore ka letsatsi la di 10 May 2018 o isitse ko cybercrime ka ntle le gore o itshwenye. Confirm?
I'm pausing there because that deals with the first exhibit. And you agree, the impression created is that on the 4th of May you received the exhibit, you booked it in, and on the 10th of May you fetched it and took it through to the Cybercrime Investigation Unit. Agreed?
Re ema gona mo ka baka la gore ka letsatsi la di 14 May ke mo e goditseng ngwana wa e registera ko SAP 13 and ka letsatsi la di 10 May ke mo itsereng wa isa ko cybercrime unit. Confirmed?
If you turn to J5, that's the SAP 13 register, you'll see it gives a different story. So.
O ka lebella J5 mo SAP 13 register.
On J5, in the left-hand side, the first entry, you'll see that the serial number, it has two serial numbers, but I find 219 stroke 261. So 219 is your SAP 13 register serial number. Do you agree with me?
Whole J5 ka mo tlhakoreng la go ja go wa dumela le yona.
Correct.
Confirmed?
And it comes in, the date that it's received is beneath that, and you've identified it as 10 May 2018. Do you agree with me?
Date in which 10 May 2018 dumela le yona.
Correct.
Confirmed? serial number, but then when you refer back to paragraph number 2, it is stated or endorsed.
This is a different item, so it's got a different seal number.
So no item is different in any.
I'm going to break it down. Perhaps it was too long as well, so I accept.
Okay. May the question be
Your Worship,
restated?
Thank you.
can I request the advocate to go line by line?
Yes.
To
That
avoid
is what the
long
advocate
sentences,
says. He
Your
will
Worship.
not pose too
Yes.
long of a question.
I accept that they're too long.
Because I've been trying to indicate by raising the hand that
But I will also expect it from yourself, because
Yes.
the court do not understand the language itself. If you do not fully get the question, do not pose such questions to the witness. Rather seeks clarity from the advocate concerning the question, so
As
that
the
the true
court pleases.
question be relayed to the witness, so that the witness can respond fully
as the
as well.
court pleases, Your Worship.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Otis.
I'm going to rephrase out of fairness to Colonel. The incidents mentioned in paragraphs 1, 2, and 3 relate to the item that was seized from Mr. Dion Klingbeil. Do you agree?
So the incident here, paragraph number 1, 2, 3, it will like item in Mr. Dion Cleanville. Correct?
And that date, when that happened, you've told us, was the 4th of May, 2018. Do you
Date
agree?
or Urbudiche Yonaki date here from May 2018. Correct?
And there you recorded in paragraph 2 the seal number of the bag that was used to seal that item. Do you agree?
Go paragraph number 2 or recordile serial number ya item here. Correct?
Right. In paragraph 4, you deal with the events on 23 May 2018 involving Colonel Bronkhorst. Do you agree with me?
Go paragraph number 3 over like incident ya the 23 May a local brand host on. Correct?
You do not record a seal number. Do you agree with me?
Our recorder serial number to Menlalin. That's correct.
Why not?
Lebaka king.
Ne sense ke tlhalositse hore dokete ha ke re e timetse.
I had already explained that the docket was lost.
Mo di-statementeng tsa ka tsa mathomo original
In my first statement that I originally took,
ne ntse ke tlhalositse everything.
I had explained everything.
And similarly, in this paragraph 4, you don't even mention booking that item into the SAP 13 register and store. Do you agree with me?
Mo paragraph number 4 a o bulele gore a o bulele ka SAP 13 ebile le gore o register ile ka yona. That is correct. The reason is because I had already retired. I cannot remember anything.
Okay, but now if we turn to J6, which is the SAP 13 register, you will see
J6, the SAP 13 register.
you are uncertain of the date, but it has to be June 2018, and I'll tell you why.
Bosa tibita ba date mara e ka ba June, o tlo tlhalosa re why are e ka ba June?
Because this is sequence 261, and both 262 and 263 on the same page.
Renali 261 and 62, 262 go paging Lily 1.
Or on the 4th of June 2018, so it can't be August.
Ka letšatši la di 4 June ka 2000 and the year is 2018.
Yes.
Yes, so it can be August.
Agreed?
O dumelana le sona?
No, it has to be August. Ke dumelana le sona.
Correct, it cannot be August.
Right, so we've established now that if you look at the SAP 13, this item was booked in by you, I'll show you, on the 4th of June 2018.
Ra dumelana gore se se bookile ko wena ka letšatši la di 4 June 2018. That's correct.
Which begs the question once again, what happened to it from the 23rd of May 2018 until the 4th of June 2018?
Question e gore go diragetseng ka yona go tloga ka letšatši la di 23 May 2018 go fitlha ka letšatši la di 4 June 2018.
Ke sa hopola.
I don't remember.
Because on your statement you say that on the day you received it, you took it straight through to the Pretoria cybercrime investigator for analysis. Do you agree with me?
Go ya ka statement se sengwe ke gore ka letšatši le o itshwere o itsamaišitša isa straight ko cyber unit for the investigation.
Ke nnete ke tsamaisitse ka letsatsi lona le ke kry-ile ka lona.
That is correct. I took it there on the day that I received it.
And you don't mention receiving it back from the cybercrime investigation unit. Do you agree with me?
Ebile ha o ngola gore o e receivile back from cyber crime investigation unit.
Ke nnete.
That is correct.
Did you receive it back?
E sale wa e kry-a back?
No.
No.
Well, then the SAP 13 becomes even more intriguing, because on the SAP 13 it's contended that you signed something in, or this in a bag on the 4th of June 2018.
Ka letšatši la 4 June 2018 go ne mo le gore o saenile gona gore go ne le seo se kry-ileng back gona.
And you'll see this in column 4. Your name.
Can we confirm the date again, please?
4th of June
Ka letšatši la di 4
2018.
June 2018.
You'll see in column 4 your name.
Column 4
It's
bona
crime
lebitso la
scene, Fourways Memorial Parks. Your
crime scene,
details,
Fourways,
your signature,
signature.
and it's a SAP 13 clock signature next to the date 4th of June 2018. Do you agree?
O ne le
Correct.
signature ya clerk ebile le di date. O dumelana le sona?
Dumelana le
That's
sona.
correct.
Now, if you look at column 5,
Ha re lebelela column 5
it would appear that this was taken out
go bontšha gore se se ntšhitšwe
of the SAP 13
se ntšhitšwe ka mo SAP 13
by a warrant officer on the 18th of June 2018.
e ntšhitšwe ke warrant officer ka letšatši la di 18 June 2018
and brought back, it would seem, on the 23rd, it looked like August.
so ne ya boa ka letšatši la di
2018.
23 June or August 23 August 2018.
Ke nnete ne sentse ke le gae.
That is correct.
You
I
had
was
no
already at
involvement.
home.
Ne ke le teng mo mmerekong.
A kutlwe?
Ne sentse ke le teng mo mmerekong.
Bo sal- bo sa le
Yeah,
teng.
ne ke sa le teng.
It is correct. During this period, I was still on duty.
But you had no involvement in that, or were you involved?
So,
In,
ball
in
involved
column
more.
5 there.
No, already ne sentse ba di allocated to other members my dockets.
Already my dockets were allocated to other members.
And then you'll see in column 6, sorry, just column 6, you'll see that it's disposed of, but it says received out of fairness to you, on the 23rd of August 2018.
wa bona mo ka re ka letšatši la di 23 August 2013 e re received e re e buile
Correct.
e re received wa bona
Yeah,
that's
go on.
correct
And that's the last record of it.
ke record ya mafelelo ya yone
And then-
But you weren't
That's
involved in
correct.
any of that, you agree with me?
so or bose involved o dumelana le yena
No, legacy involved by this time, okay, singing.
by this time I was not involved in this case
Now, to complete J2, I'm turning to paragraph 5.
re ka boela ko J2 paragraph number 5 go ifeleletša
You have it?
J2 yeah J2
J2.
yeah
yes.
J2 paragraph number 5
Okay. You say here, the case docket was never investigated by SAPS Douglas Dale Police as it was regarded as a higher profile case. Do you confirm that?
ba re ya investigate batho ba ko Douglas deal ka go bana ile high profile case
Yeah, dumela.
I agree
You continue, all the investigation conducted herein was done by Provincial Head Office Gauteng Detective Services. You confirm that?
seriously you must confirm
Yeah, dumela.
confirm Bishop
During the investigation, I was under the supervision of Colonel Nama of our office. Do you agree?
was dumela sa feta go sebala
Yeah, dumela.
confirmed
The witness, as per A8, Colonel Badenhorst, provided the CCTV footage, i.e. exhibit, to me, not to my commander, Colonel Nama.
e se a se bolela mo gore Colonel Brandhouse o itlišitše mo wena a iša ko Colonel Nama ke nnete
Ke nnete o e file nna.
confirmed
Office
it was
ya
given
bona.
to me in my office
In
or our
his
office
office.
in his office your worship.
His office.
You then confirm that you know and understand the contents of the statement, have no objection to taking the oath, which you regard binding on your conscience, and take an oath before a commissioner of oaths on 2 August 2019. Do you agree with me?
ebile wa bolela ka letšatši la di 2 August 2019 gore seo se boletšeng mo wa se kwešiša ebile se tsamaišana le maikutlo a gago
Ke nnete se ntse ke le mo hae, ne?
that's correct I would like to mention that I was already at home by that time
Yes, it says retired at the top of that statement.
e ngwetše o retired mo godimo
Or not employed, I beg your pardon.
mo sa bereka ka nako eo
Ke nnete.
confirmed
Now, how many times did you take CCTV footage through relating to this matter through to the Pretoria Cybercrime, the forensic unit, the Pretoria forensic unit,
so ba nyaka go tseba gore ke ga kae o tša CCTV ya molato o iša ko Pretoria Cybercrime Forensic Unit
A nnete.
twice
and on both times did you give it to the same person or to different people?
ka nako tše pedi o bolela ka tšona go di fa motho mo tee goba batho ba ba farwane
Motho mo tee.
to the same person
And who is that person?
ke mang motho
Ha ke sa gopola. Ka re o ko head office o ka re
I don't remember but then he's at the work head office working there
Was it a warrant officer Smith?
Bailey Warrant Officer Smith
Ha ke sa gopola.
I don't remember
And what were the dates that you went through? Do you remember them?
o sa gopola gore o tsamaile ka date tše dife or o nyaka go lebelela mo di-statementeng
Yo, ke ile a ntše head office.
ya ba buša gore o sa gopola di-date tše o ileng ka tšona no
Ka di 4
on the 4th
tsa April. No, ka di 4 tsa April ke ile.
I went there on the 4th of April
And le ka di 23
I-
tsa May.
I also went there on the 23rd of May
In the year 2018.
ka ngwaga wa 2018 confirmed
Warrant Officer Smith said that he received from you A CCTV footage on the 10th of May 2018. Do you have any comments?
Warrant Officer Smith or we carry the more CCTV footage culture 10 May 2018 Udiman Nalen.
Yeah.
I agree with him.
But that doesn't tie in with your dates.
Pardon?
That does not correlate with your dates.
It's a Maishan or I saw the date how Udiman Nalen.
Column number 5.
I want to explain column number 5.
Warrant Officer Smith.
I see Warrant Officer Smith.
5 it's May 2018.
On the 5th of May 2018.
Received back.
I also see received back on a very same date. According to what I see, it's no longer Smith as a certain Meleto. So I don't understand what transpired here.
Me too. Right, if you return to J3, this is the statement that you've seen already today that you utilized to refresh your memory and which should not be too long.
J3 ke statement se le re bo o gopotsa ka sona se ka se telle ya J3.
I'm going to do it line by line. You say, I, Charles Mandla-Kapeli, Senego, state under oath in English.
Mo go bolela re wena Charles Mandla-Kapeli Senego o bolela o ikanne ka sekgowa ore
I'm an adult male, you give your personal details and you describe yourself as a pensioner at that stage, not employed. Do you
o
agree with
fa ka tša bophelo ba gago le mengwaga ya gago ebile o bolela re ka se sebaka a o bereke o pension. That's correct.
Paragraph 2. I was the former investigating officer of the above mentioned case. I would like to clarify a few aspects of this matter. The first exhibit booked at Pretoria Cybercrime Office for analysis. It was sealed in forensic bag number PA 50017 35604. I think it's X1, or it could be crossed out. It was still properly sealed on the 10th May 2018.
Se a fetša go sebala se tša mo paragraph 2 gore beile wena o nyakišiša molato ke former investigating officer ebile wa bolela gore go le tšelo gore nyaka go lokišiša ka lebaka la molato oki and wa bolela gape exhibit e ebile ya bukwa ko Pretoria Cybercrime Office angere for ba yo analyze go ba ile lekola angere ebile o bolela gape gore ile ya tswalelwa ka mogara forensic bag ebile number gona forensic bag she ingwetše moki and then gore e tswaletše ka tsela ya maleba ka letšatši la di 10 May 2018. That's correct.
Paragraph 3. Furthermore, on the 4th June 2018, I booked another exhibit, which was in forensic bag number PA 50017 35894. Also still properly sealed, not tampered with, regarding different signatures. It's two people who signed for the exhibits on two different dates mentioned above.
Ile mo bolela ka bo paragraph number 3 wa bolela gore ka tšatši la di 4 June 2018 go ne le ngwaga gape exhibit le gore e bookilwe ka mogara forensic number she ingwetše forensic number gona ebile e tswaletše ka tsela ya maleba ebile a ya tshwenywa go ya ka molao so ebile o bolela gape gore go ne le di-signature tše pedi tša batho ba le gore ba e sainile ka ge ba ngwala gona mo di-exhibiting tšeo. That's correct.
You then say in paragraph 4, I further confirm that the exhibits, after being collected from Memorial Park Cemetery, were booked at Ayrton, organized SAP 13, booked, which the current investigating officer cannot find. Is that correct?
Mo paragraph number 4, bolela gore wa dumela gore exhibit e le gore o ikereile ko memorial service park angere cemetery was booked ko Ayrton ko office tšela tša lena angere ko SAP 13 and e buka ke the current investigating officer e le gore ha e kereya ebile ha tse gore jwang a ke bone gabotse moo ore e latlhegile ore e timetše le wena ore ga o kgone go gopola serial number ya gone. That's correct.
It's not known how it got lost. I also cannot remember the serial of SAP 13 of Ayrton SAP 13, but it was booked in SAP 13 and the same day was then forwarded to Pretoria Cyber for analysis.
Which paragraph is that? The
It's
witness is asking.
paragraph 5.
Or se tla ka ko
4
paragraph.
going on to 5.
E thoma ko 4 ko mafelong wa bona mo 5 mo re e timetse bila go tsebe re e timetse jwang. Then o tlola pelo ya ko paragraph number 5 ka yona.
Correct, yeah.
The witness confirmed.
Paragraph 6, the first exhibits collected from Mr. Klingbeil on the 10th of May 2018 and was forwarded same day.
So tlola pele ka paragraph number 6 wa bona ne bolela ka date e tshwanang se bohlokwa e bona. Confirmed.
The second one was collected on the 4th of June 2018, also forwarded on the same date.
So ya bobedi exhibit ke by collected ka tšatši la di 4 June 2018 ebile ya tsamaya ka yona date e ya di 4 June 2018. That's correct.
I still confirm that our exhibits were inserted by me in the forensic bags and they were still properly sealed when handed in at cybercrime.
O sa tswela pele o bolela gore di exhibit tše di loketse ko yona ka mara and the forensic bag ebile ga gona motho o di tshwentše ebile o di loketse ka tsela ya maleba. Confirmed.
That's all I can say regarding the exhibits.
Ke se ke ka se bolelang go ya ka di exhibit tše.
You then take the oath and it's commissioned on the, it appears to be the 19th of January or November 2019.
Namile wa ikana ka 19 tša January goba November.
Yeah, the 19th of November.
It was the 19th of November
2019.
2019.
Now, if you had taken the items, booked them into the SAP 13, collected them, and sent them for analysis, you had to sign them both in and out on both occasions. Do you agree with me?
So all of kwana bodi tša o di isha kua. Beilo wena sentse o di sign in ebile o di sign out. O dumellana le nna? That's correct.
In fact, it served no purpose to take them to SAP 13, book them in, book them out, get a serial number, and go wherever you wanted with them immediately.
Ebile ga go sebe purpose ya gore o di tsentšhe ka mara SAP 13 o di book in o di book out o no tsamaya le tšone. Can we get that again?
It served no purpose to do so.
A re bone lebaka la gore why o dira so?
Ke na le lebaka.
I have a purpose.
What was the purpose?
Ke continuing of possession. Or is ka ya tshwara ke
As the continuation of the position,
until e be fihle go cybercrime.
it must not be handled by any other person until it reaches cybercrime.
Ke lona lebaka la ka.
That's the reason.
No, but you've got gaps on both of them. In relation to both, you received them, you kept them in your possession.
Go na le dikepe ko ya mathomo o itshwere mo go wena o receive e tshwara mo wena.
You never checked them in at all to the SAP 13 until the day that you're sending them for analysis.
Azange o di check in mo SAP 13 until letšatši le o di tsamiša o di isha ko analysis ko cybercrime.
Azange ka di check ka di tsensa mo SAP 13. Ke di tsensitse mo SAP 13.
Can we get that again, please?
In both instances,
Mo makgatlhong a mabedi a.
we can use either one. If you
Re ka
want to, I'll use
berekiša
the
engwe le
first
engwe.
one.
Ka re thome ka ya mathomo.
You received it on the 4th of May, 2018.
Ka letšatši la di 4 May o di receivile.
Ke nnete.
You never booked it into SAP 13 on that day.
Ka letšatši la o di buka ko SAP 13.
On the 10th of May, 2018,
Ka letšatši la di 10 May 2018,
when you wanted to send it to Warrant Officer Smith for analysis,
go nyaka o di isha ko Warrant Officer Smith go analyze goba go lekola.
you checked it in and out of the SAP 13 register.
O checkile in and out ka mo gare ga SAP 13 register.
In fact, you got Warrant Officer Smith to sign, it would appear, that register
So
on the
ke rile
10th of
warrant
May,
office-
2018.
O kerile Warrant Officer gore a signa ka mo gare ga this register ka letšatši la di 23 May 2018.
Which would mean he drove or came to Ayrton to do it at the SAP 13.
Ora gore o
It
tlile
didn't
ko-
happen at cyber crimes.
Ada se a sa
In
direla ko
Pretoria.
cybercrime ko ra o tlile ko Ayrton offices a ke o ira seo.
No. Ke nna ke ile ko officing ya bona.
It was myself who went to their office.
But you couldn't take the SAP 13 register book with you.
Our SAP 13 register book alone.
No, SAP 13 register Nelia officer arena and then le immediate commander.
SAP
Colonel
13
Nam.
SAP 13 register, it was from our office and it was with Colonel Nam.
Nama.
It was with Colonel Nama.
It didn't travel to Pretoria, I agree with
So
you.
I had Pretoria.
So how did Mr. Smith sign it on the 10th of May 2018?
So Mr. Smith.
While you were at his office in Pretoria.
It was in
Pretoria.
I don't remember well.
It's not a case of not doing, it's not possible, sir. Let's just think logically. You've told the court, 10 May 2018, you checked it in, you took it immediately through to Pretoria.
10 May, we check in, why office in Pretoria.
You leave the OB register behind.
Sorry, the witness
beg
wants
your
to
pardon,
confirm
the
something.
SAP 13 register behind at the SAP 13 store. You agree with me?
The witness requests to confirm something.
Yes.
Yes, study 10th of May.
On the 10th of May,
Exhibiting
I took the exhibit
to head office cybercrime.
to the head office of cybercrimes.
And the guy on a date,
On the very same date,
Grayless Smith hand in the exhibit.
I found Mr. Smith and handed over the exhibit.
But you didn't have the register, the SAP 13 register with you. So
Both
how
the-
did his signature and stamp come into
Both
the
ne
book on that
SAP
date?
13 register le wena. So ba nyaka o tseba signature ha e fihlile jwang mo SAP 13
There's
register.
no SAP 13 register.
I did not have the SAP 13 register with me when I went there.
Yes. But my question is, how did that his signature and stamp come into this book on that date? Is
So
it-
question
was
ko re
that
signature ha e fihla jwang ka mogare ga SAP 13 register. I don't remember well how it came about.
Right. If we turn to the second item.
The witness requests to ask a question.
Pleasure.
Although the court is not allowing questions, it's
The
just
court doesn't allow
prolonging,
the question.
because I'm not sure who's going to answer the question.
Maybe your worship.
The witness is saying it's fine, we can continue.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
If you look at the second item,
Ha re lebella item ya bobedi,
you've told the court
o boditse kgoro ya tsheko
that you received it
gore o e hweditse
on the 23rd of May 2018.
ka letšatši la di 23 May 2018.
You then kept it and you booked it into the SAP 13 on the 4th of June 2018.
Wa e buka ka letšatši la di 4 June 2018. O itshwere mo go wena wa e buka in ka letšatši la di 4 June 2018.
Correct.
Correct?
That's the last time you saw it, agreed?
Ke tšatši la mafelo goba ke nako ya mafelo mo e le gore o e bone. That's correct.
And you checked it out also on the 4th of June 2018.
Ka letšatši la di 4 June 2018 ya wa e check out gape.
Or did you leave it there? Did you just book it in on the 4th of June 2018 and leave it there? Or did you take it out on the 4th of June
O e bookile in
2018?
ka letšatši la di 4 June 2018 goba go ne le mo le gore o e ntšhitše gape ka lona date e re bolelang ka yona di 4 June 2018.
Ke bukile ka di 4 tsa May.
I booked it in on the 4th of May.
And then ka e lokela mo akere ne una le di exhibit tse pedi.
Remember there were two exhibits.
Ya mathomo ke isitse.
The first one I took
Ya
it.
bobedi ka di 23 tsa May ke
The sec-
kry-ile ko Brongoste.
The second one I received it on the 23rd of May from Mr. Bronkhorst.
Ka tla le yona ko officing
I brought it to the office.
ka e lokela mo registering ya SAP 13
I then registered it on a register SAP 13.
and then ka e lokela mo lockereng ya ka ka KL.
I then put it in my locker and locked it.
Ka
So you book it into the SAP 13, you register it there, but you lock it in your locker.
after
Really,
ke seno e lokela mo SAP 13
after I put it on a SAP 13,
ke loketse mo lockereng ka e lokela mo teng ka key.
I put it inside the locker and then I put it in and locked it. Is those calculated?
So it wasn't booked into the SAP 13 store.
So I basically booked Kamara SAP 13.
On my arrival ko office
On my arrival at the office,
ke bookele mo SAP 13
I booked it in SAP 13.
and then after that ka e tseya ka e lokela mo lockereng ka e
After
key.
that, I took it and put it inside the locker and then I locked.
And then what did you do with it once you put it in your locker?
How far you like Kamara locker? O dirile eng ka yona?
Ka di 23 ke e tseya ke isa kwa ko cybercrime.
On the 23rd, that is when I took it to cybercrime. I don't remember
What date?
date. I'm confused. I'm really confused.
We are also, can I show you?
I'm very confused.
I would request not any laughing. It is serious, so you could refrain from laughing.
Now, you then made another statement. It's before this court is J4. This is your final statement.
We realized J4 statement the same way.
This is on the 30th of January 2020.
January 30 January 2020. Can we confirm the statement is J?
4.
J4.
A46, J4.
The witness is still looking for
One
such.
page. I can give you a copy.
J4.
No, you should find the original.
J4, that's it. We found it.
Thank you. Yeah, you identify yourself and record that you are a pensioner and at that stage not employed. Do you agree? You then say in paragraph 2, I was the former investigating officer of the above mentioned case.
Confirmed?
I confirm all the exhibits after being collected were in my possession, never left in the SAP 13 safe store.
Wa bolela gape gore di-exhibit tše go be di le mo position ya goba mo seemo sa gago a da šiwa ko SAP 13.
Ke nnete a rena SAP 13 safe store.
That's correct. We do not have a SAP 13 safe store.
They were then sent to Pretoria Cybercrime Office immediately.
Da romela ko cybercrime ko Pretoria ka yona nako ewe. Confirmed?
I furthermore state that on my statement attached as per A35 paragraph number 6 and 5, I mentioned everything. That's all I can state.
So bolela ko paragraph number 6 le paragraph number 5 ko statement in sa 885 o di buletse tšeo so ke se lo rwa se tlhalosa ka se sebaka. That's correct.
You then confirm that the oath is binding and that you're signing this before Commissioner Soshanguvi on the 30th of January 2020. Is that correct?
Mo boy ka nne gore o bolela nnete ka letšatši la di 30 tša January 2020. That's correct.
So in other words, what you're saying here, Colonel, is despite what the SAP 13 register says, you never checked anything and you kept it all the time with you.
Ka mantšu a mangwe wa dumela gore a wa di check in di-exhibit tše di le mo seemeng sa gago di le mo go wena ka nako tše tsohle. That's correct. O bolelele godimo ke.
So
That's
why do you have a SAP 13 register where you itemize something on a particular day, you take it out, other people sign for it, where you had everything on you all the time?
So why re ba le SAP 13 register batho ba signa in ba signa out mara dilo tše di mo go wena ka moka ka nako e yohle.
Question.
I don't understand the question.
explain it.
o tlo itlhalosa ke.
We've been in great detail through the SAP 13 register and the entries. Do you agree with me?
Re tseneletse ka botlalo mo registering ya SAP 13 dumelana le nna. That's correct.
The purpose of doing so was to record where these exhibits were.
So lebaka gore be re nyaka go tseba gore di-exhibit tse ke di ko kae.
That they create the wrong impression. In fact, they're false. If at all times you had all the exhibits in your possession.
Ka nako tse tsotlhe ka moka di-exhibit tse di le mo position ya gabe di le mo go wena. Correct?
So may I proceed?
So motlhomong sa nyaka go tseba gore go ne le impression ya maka ya gore ba di bookile eng and then ba di booka eng ka nako yo yotlhe be di le mo go wena. The impression is false gore e bolela maka gore dintwe di mo go wena.
Bishop, there was another, maybe I spoke too much, let me I was alerted to, it wasn't fairly translated, so let me do it slowly. Sorry, Mr. Interpreter. I said two things in one, so I accept it, okay?
Okay, you may clear up that
Thank
issue.
you, let me
Thank you.
clarify the fairness to the witness. If you had the items on you all the time, there was no purpose in recording them in the SAP 13. Do you agree?
Ga bo tshwere di-exhibit tse ka nako tse tsotlhe di le mo go wena ba go sene lebaka la gore o di registere eng mo SAP 13.
Go na le lebaka.
There is a reason. Re theleditše.
Go na le lebaka gore ke di fumane.
There is a reason because of I received them
From the scene of crime.
from the scene of crime
And then ya go registering.
and it went to the register.
Go bontsha gore ka nnete ke di kry-ile and di tsene mo sepodising.
It shows that indeed I received them and it was received by the police.
Di tsene mo SAP 13
And
gore di mo sepodising yaanong.
they are now in position of the South African Police Services and they were registered.
No, it doesn't, sir. It creates a false impression.
I
received-
tlhalositse ke e create impression ya maka.
The first item on the 4th of May, 2018.
Item ya mathomo ka letšatši la 4 May 2018.
For some unknown reason, you book it into the SAP 13 register for the first time
Ka
on the
lebaka le re sa
10th
le
of May,
tsebe
2013.
ka lebaka le le wa re le tsebe ka letšatši la di 10 May 2018 we booka in we register.
In some inexplicable way that nobody can justify, Warrant Officer Smith signs that on that day, signs that register.
Se sengwe se re sa re makatša se le ra kgone go kera lebaka ke eng gore a warrant officer Smith wa signa mo registering eo.
That's the first item. That's the creation, the impression created on the SAP 13 register. Do you agree?
Ke gore ke impression e creatiwa nke re bolela ka exhibit ya mathomo o dumelana le rena mo. Yes.
The second item, according to the register, is booked in by you, booked out the same day, and then signed for by other people in the SAP 13.
Le ya bobedi buka ke wena in ebile e saenela ke batho ba bangwe ebile e buka out.
Ke nnete a ke re ba saenetse morao.
Those who signed up later,
Nna ne ke sa le ke le
I was no longer at the employ or involved
in the investigation ya yona case.
involved in the investigation of this case.
I agree with you. But what were they signing for? Because you never booked it back into the SAP 13
Why
register.
be ba signa mo course or na why buka in ka mogara register or buka back ka mogara register? Why wona be ba sign?
No, la mathomo ke kry nna.
At first when I received it,
Yes, ke loketse mo registering ya SAP 13.
I registered it on a SAP 13 register.
And you took it with you. You've
And
said
then
so
why
in your
do-
last statement.
Ka e tseya,
Ke
ka
se o
e-
se boletseng.
So if you had it with you, what could those other people be signing for after you had
So
resigned?
lebaka gore be di le mo go wena ke re o di
Retired.
tšere. So batho ba bangwe be ba signa eng? Be ba signa for eng because be di le mo go wena.
To, I mean, ba sign le ya ke re ke ba e receive from ko yena.
They sign when they receive it from the head office.
Re hopole gore Smith o head office.
Remember, Smith is at the head office.
Nna ke ko provincial in Joburg.
I'm at provincial in Joburg.
But you kept these items with you.
The items
You never put them into the SAP 13.
So the items that you
Never left
do
them
mo
there.
wena a di lokela ko SAP 13. Di mo go wena.
SAP 13 ke register.
SAP 13 is the register, that is where I recorded them.
And it's on how it's here physical, or this Pretoria. How did my SAP 13 register?
When you take them physically to Pretoria, you don't take them along with the register.
I agree with you. But you've said here, and you've made it clear, you took them and handed them in Pretoria. That was it, end of the story. You never put them back in any register. You never signed again for them. That's your own version.
So se tlhalositseng gore a wa se sign back mo ra register wona o di tšere wa di isa Pretoria.
Pretoria.
Go dumellana le sa se bolelang.
Eh.
That's correct.
So then what was the purpose of anybody else signing for it afterwards in the register if you'd left them in Pretoria?
If di le ko Pretoria di le ka mo ra register go batho ga ba sa signelang ka re di ko Pretoria di.
Akere di fitla Pretoria. Le bona ba fitla ba di lokela mo registering ya bona.
When they are received at Pretoria, they must also register them in their own register.
I have no difficulty with that. That doesn't explain this SAP 13 register, sir.
So I shall see this SAP 13 register.
Thank you, Worship. I have no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Baba.
Thank you, Worship.
Re-examination.
Thank you, Worship. So let me start off first with the first question, and that is, it's not clear on record, when did you officially retire from the SAPS?
The end of March 2019.
The end of March 2019.
Secondly, sir, in respect of the exhibits,
the exhibit.
You agree with me and that an SAP 13 book will never have the signature of a person. For example, in this particular instance, you're the investigating officer. When you receive an exhibit, you enter the exhibit in the SAP 13 book, correct?
So whether kona uya kishang molato ka ngere. So go receive a exhibit wa register ka mo SAP 13 go jwalo. That's correct.
It's also correct that that book is an official document that never leaves your office. Is that correct?
Ke official document e le mo molaong ebile ha e tlo go mara office. Indeed. That's correct.
Right. And also, as Advocate Hodges has indicated, that and as well as the state in the examination in chief, this original SAP 13 book that you are talking about cannot be found. Correct?
So ke bopaki bo le gore o borotse peleng gore yona SAP 13 book e re bolelang ka yona a gona mo le re ikaragala gona go ba ya karagala gona a ya khwetso. That is how I was informed that it is lost and it was never found.
And this SAP 13 book that you were looking for is the one that you said, indicated here to this court, is the one that you signed in Egerton, correct?
Ke lore o buletše ka yona lore wena o e signile ko Egerton. SAP 13 book e re bolelang ka yona ke lore wena o re o e signile ko Egerton. Correct.
And whenever you take an exhibit from your office to Pretoria for the cyber unit, it is correct that you would never take an SAP 13 book with you.
Ke nnete gape gore go itša exhibit o di isa ko Pretoria ka se SAP 13 book le wena wa le yona ko Pretoria.
No, it's the register with somewhere.
You don't take the register and go with it, it remains behind.
And that book will always remain at your office, is that correct?
Buka e tlo dula ka mo officing ya gago go jalo. That is correct, it remains in my office.
Then we're all in agreement, sir.
So Rakwan, that's it. That's correct.
Okay, so let's go forward then. Just to get clarification. At the police station, they have a SAP 13 book. They have a SAP 13 clerk that stores this sort of evidence. You agree?
Como policing go le SAP 13 book ebile go le clerk clerk e lore ya record ona mo go jalo.
Una le SAP 13 book but rena ne re sena traka.
I agree we have a SAP 13 book, but then we did not have a clerk.
Did you have a safe at your specific unit where you would store these exhibits?
So bonally safe ko unit nya ha mo lo o lokela di oba o loka di exhibit on.
As a safe ke local.
It's not a safe, it's just a locker.
So if I understand your evidence correctly, is after you receive this exhibit, you then put in a locker and then you took it to cybercrime.
Har o ka ha botse o re kere ile di exhibit wa lokela ka mara locker e bile wa di tšea ka mara locker wa di sa ko cybercrime. That's correct.
Yes. Now my learned colleague dealt with the aspect of the SAP 13, which is marked as J5 and J6. A moment, Your Worship, to make sure. Right. J5 and J6. Okay?
Hobulechka J5 ili J6. That's correct.
In respect of J5 and J6, did you receive any of those exhibits back from the cybercrime unit that you signed for?
O ya ka J5 ili J6 go le mo lo di receive back the exhibit go tswa ko le fapeng la di cybercrime unit. I don't remember. It's been quite long.
Yeah. Thank you, Your Worship. No further questions to this witness.
Thank you, Mr. Weber. So just for clarification, the court just have a few questions.
Ore se go nyaka go botsisa di botsiso tse mmalwa.
The SAP-69's register, which is depicted on exhibit J5 and J6, from which office is this? Which SAP-69s? Is it from Everton? Or which office?
You just said 69.
SAP-13, thank you, Mr. Oris. The SAP-13 is depicted in J5 and J6. From which office is it?
So mo J5 and J6, the SAP 13 tse re bolang tsone ke tsa office efe? I don't remember from which office, the reason being I see the date stamp here, it's from Joburg Central.
And then station
I was never stationed at Johannesburg Central.
I was at provincial head office.
I was at provincial head office.
Okay, but you booked in these items, isn't it?
Marakono
Where did you book
in.
these items in, and where was this SAP-13 registers?
Be dil ko ka kar ko na lor udi bukile in.
Ke bukile mo yona SAP-13 register. Ya rena retain office ya.
Arton. From our office at Arton.
Then it was also put to you in evidence in re-examination as well as chief, and you have indicated that you do not have a clerk, SAP-13 clerk. Is that correct?
So mo ntse re rola bopaki o buletše taba ya gore a gona clerk wa SAP-13.
Ke nnete ne re sena clerk ya SAP-13. That is why ne ke tlhaloso re register ye ne handlwa ke my immediate commander.
That is correct. We did not have a clerk. Hence, I explained that this register was handled by my immediate commander, Colonel Nama.
What do you mean by handled by Colonel Nama?
Colonel Nama.
He was my commander by then.
He was my commander by then.
Is he the one that is then supposed to do the functions of the clerk by storing these items? And keep it safe?
Inspector di dockets arena.
He is the one who was inspecting our dockets.
Yes, but the court do not want to know about the dockets, just with regards to the exhibits.
So re bolela ka exhibit, court ha nyaka ka di-docket.
What does Colonel Nama have to do with the exhibits?
So Colonel Nama yena o tsena jwang mo ditabeng tsa di-exhibit?
As a commander, ke re tshwanetse hore a keep tse tsohle di register mo yena.
As a commander, he's supposed to keep all the registers with him,
But not the exhibits.
hide exhibit.
The exhibit here a ke rra di tseya di a tsamaya.
The exhibit, we take them and they leave.
It leave to where?
They are go guys.
They are to head office,
To the head office,
tsona the case, the footage,
referring to the digs, the footages,
the firearm, the ballistics.
the firearms that are taken to the ballistics.
Yes, but there's no firearm. We're only talking about
Say
these
the-
discs,
So re bolela ka di-digs check.
The head
these
office for
exhibits in this
cybercrime.
case.
These digs were taken to the head office at cybercrimes.
You also mentioned that if the court is wrong, you may correct the court. Because this is where I see clarity with regards to the locker. You said there's no safe, we only had a locker. Have you not mentioned that you have also kept the items safe in your office?
So mo kgorotsheko o ka ilukisha go le re nyaka o lukisha ngere o buletse gore ga gona di-safe mara o ne le di-locker. So kgorotsheko nyaka o tseba gore o rile o di boloketse o di beile safe ka mara office ya ona. The locker is in my office. I put them safe.
So does all personnel have their own safes in their own, or own lockers in their own office?
Ba bereki ka moka ba ne le di-locker ka mo di-officing tsa bone.
All the investigators, what
Ye-
are the local?
Yes, all the investigators, they have lockers in their respective offices.
Thank you, sir. Any questions out of the questions by the court?
None, Your Worship.
There's one I will ask your leave, Your Worship, to ask, because it's not directly from Your Worship's question. It's from Mr. Baba's. But let me first deal with the one that arises from Your Worship's questioning. So, if every investigator has a cabinet in their office where they lock the exhibits, no items are ever booked into the SAP 13 store. Do you agree with me?
Can we get that again?
Yes. If every investigator has a locker in their office
Ga di investigator di nang di locker ka mo officing tsa bona,
where they lock their exhibits,
mo ba lockerang di-exhibit tsa bona,
there are no items booked into any SAP 13 store at Ayrton.
so a gona di-items tse le gore ba di booka ko SAP 13 store. SAP 13 store. Akere ba re batho ba na le di-locker ka mo di-officing tsa bona, so ga gona di-items over di-exhibit tse le gore ba di booka ko SAP 13 store.
Mo ne ke bereka mo teng,
Where I was working,
it was not very fela di local.
we were only using the lockers.
Then, through your worship, because it arises from Mr. Baba's question.
Unfortunately, Mr. Otis, if it arises from Mr. Baba's questions, it should have been covered in cross-examination.
No, it's
I have-
re-examination, your worship. He raised an issue in
Yes,
re-examination.
but I have not opened a platform to
No,
cross-examine the witness again. Only from my questions, the court will allow.
Your worship, it doesn't, I'm not going to mislead the court. It was something that he raised in re-examination relating to the loss of the register. I just wanted to ascertain from the witness when it was lost. But if the court doesn't
No,
allow
it is not arising from the court question, so the court is not going to allow this question. Thank you, Mr. Otis. Thank you, sir. You are excused. All exhibits to be returned to the court.
Of ka kgopola di-exhibit kgorotsheko gore ka lokologa ba di tlisa. Ba tla di lokisa ko teng.
Thank you, Mr. Baba.
Thank you, Your Worship. I noticed it's quarter to 1, Your Worship. Before we started this morning, I did indicate to advocate holders that after I finish this last witness, Your Worship, I was going to ask for a short adjournment just to finalize my consultation with the next witness I intended calling. But seeing that it is quarter to 1, Your Worship, may I request we adjourn now and start at 2?
Mr. Otis?
That's reasonable, Your Worship.
Mr. Baba, this is extra copies.
Thank you.
Malema, Mr. Ndlozi, may stand. The matter will stand down for the lunch hour. We will resume at 2 o'clock, so the matter will stand down until 2. Court adjourned.
I'm already going to wine. I never so I think Hadula, I never want to hand if I look up in a yeah, I can see that. But here I need to but when I say yes, I'm coming. I get ready. What would your assets of concern?
Oh my God.
I think you can learn anymore because now I'm such a look at it.
I called.
Oh, yeah, in court.
Oh, okay.
What is this house? Sorry, apologies. When you're done, I just want to speak to 5 minutes.
Teachers or not in a safe. No. No, we can sign and then we keep. Then the judge says, okay, what does Nama have to do with this? Why do you say you sign the registration? Evidence or not? No, we send evidence, we send a like. No, we give you the so why do you say Smith's signature is there. We took that thing to Smith